It's a kick in the nuts, folks. That's what we're experiencing right now, is on a national scale, big kick in the nuts. Or in the SWAT or whatever you got there. It's not my business, but getting kicked there probably hurts no matter what it is. I'm guessing. But here's FAPcast. FAP news. Here, how about this? And even better, how about this, Morgan?
Oh, hey, hi.
Hey.
So, anything happening in the world right now?
Nothing. I mean, I got some correspondence from our government today, and so it seems like I'm supposed to say Maduro was a very bad man. Hold on. I've got to read this. I've got to read this.
You gotta say it.
Let's see. This is not about oil. Oh no, it is about oil, but it's not about oil. Oh shit, man. I'm really confused on the messaging here.
The messaging is very present.
In fact, as a way to kind of illustrate that point, I've got wait, no, oh, yeah, give me a second. Oh, check this out.
All right, let's check it out.
Anthony here. So last night, the U.S. military, at the direction of the Trump administration, successfully executed a decapitation strike in Venezuela and captured Venezuelan's President Nicolas Maduro. Let's talk about it. First and foremost, let's acknowledge what this is, which is a distraction from the Epstein files and from the overall state of the country.
So I'm gonna push back a little bit right there.
I disagree.
It is. I think that is an added benefit. I think that is definitely Trump has probably almost certainly recognized that as a benefit to this thing that has been, and to some degree or another been in people's planning stages for quite some time.
It is an important part of the flood the zone stratagem that the regime has been so dedicated to the last literal year now. That the things they're doing, they still want to do, even if they're a distraction from some other thing, right? Like, both things can be true at once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the motives for this are much larger and more far-reaching than just the Epstein files, believe it or not. And I've got a pretty good video that does I don't know if you watched that one, if you were able to check it out.
I did watch that one. It was quite interesting.
Did you find that perspective at all, kind of on point or what?
There are some things in the video I haven't been able to verify, but from what I do know, it does match up with a lot of what I do know. So,
I mean, just to we can get to it and look at a little bit of it a little later. But like the main thing was that it introduced me to the idea of I was not aware of was the fact that the BRICS nations, being Brazil, Russia,
India, China, South Africa, and then a bunch of others
added. That they have introduced their own form of digital currency that they hope seemingly to, if not become the new currency globally, replacing the U.S. currency, it would be at least one that they would be able to use to kind of bypass having to deal with U.S. currency, and also I'm sure for the added benefit of undermining the U.S.'s power across the globe. And so, and then that seems, we can check it out later, but that's a pretty cool channel. I was looking at some of his content earlier. It's called Unfuck the Republic.
Yeah, it seems like an interesting channel.
And I'm surprised I hadn't heard of it before. But I mean, he's pretty lefty, so he's just kind of a little bit of a nerd,
We do love nerds around here.
We love some nerds. So we're gonna talk about that. We'll talk about this whole thing. We're talking about. I want to mention too, before day's over, if you have time. Something going on with Spotify and just the music platforms in general, but Spotify being, of course, the worst one of everything.
Right.
Anything and and AI stuff. It's about AI stuff.
It's yeah.
And then speaking of AI stuff, let's go ahead and start off before we jump into the Venezuela stuff. I want to talk about this. So I have a Facebook account. I don't like Facebook. I deleted my legacy Facebook account right about the time that I started doing YouTube.
Sure.
Partially, I mean, the main motivation was like, I don't want anybody to be able to figure out who I am via that's how people were often getting figured out. You know what I mean? Like anybody that's trying to stay anonymous or private was usually through their Facebook connections or something like that.
Right. Because Facebook has security described as laughable.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? I don't fucking like Facebook anyway, so this is a good chance for me to just kill it. And I killed it, deleted that shit. But I did create one since then that's for the purpose of, like, you know, if I need to download a video, or sometimes it's just memes that I want to get access to.
Right.
But I have literally messaged 2 people on that. I'm not friends with, I think, really maybe 1 or 2 people or something that I'm not really connected to otherwise. And then I follow like a handful of, you know, kind of liberal or lefty pages, right?
Sure.
And that's it. That's all I've done on there. And now every time I get on this account, I see in my feed some wild shit. Did you get to check any of that out?
I did not get a chance to look at. I presume it is some peak AI slop.
Oh god, it's so. Let me see how did I describe it to you in Discord earlier? Oh shit, knocking shit over. Let me look how I describe this to you, because it was pretty great. In my opinion of myself, if I can say so.
Fair. You're allowed to have an opinion of yourself.
I said it's like lib shit, AI written anti-Trump porn using Virginia Giuffre's corpse as a fetish item.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, as much as I don't love that, having to use that description, I mean, tell me that's not what this shit is.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So this is from Beyond the Buzz, and this gets thousands of likes and shares and stuff. You know, and honestly, for a moment, I was like, wait, when did this happen? Wait, Tom Hanks talked to Pam Bondi? What?
Never.
I mean, like 30 seconds, flat max, where I was like, wait a second, what? And then I was like, no, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. No.
But the detail that goes into the description, I mean, I say it's AI. I'm hoping it's AI, because if it's not, then somebody is severely deranged. I
mean, I feel like they're either deranged or deranged with extra steps.
Yeah. The moment Tom Hanks raised his hand, forming the symbol 45, a chill swept. And this is a common thing. I've got several examples, and every single one, it's about somebody doing some gesture, and a chill or an impact or a surge of you know, whatever emotion silenced the crowd, stunned people, or something like that. Every single one.
A surge of slop noises.
On the massive screen behind him, a sequence of numbers and faces appeared one after another. No explanation, no sound. The auditorium fell into a heavy, breathless silence. No applause, no laughter, only tension, thickening with every passing second. This was not a casual gesture. 45 became a signal, a stark reminder that what is buried does not stay buried forever. Like, holy shit, dude. It is disgusting. And the fact that, you know, it's all premised on Virginia Giuffre. I mean, to the point where I actually was wondering, is this from like Trump's camp of shit? You know what I mean? Like, is the point of this to like distract and give the people that are actually concerned about this some kind of fake catharsis, so that they,
maybe,
you know, I can't. I mean, I don't know. It's definitely cynical, and it's definitely not good. I mean, I would say this borders on maybe a little bit unethical. You know,
just yeah. I mean, just that you're using the face of a deceased person. You're using the face of a celebrity and putting words in their mouth. And now, when it comes to laws regarding celebrities in the U.S., the libel laws and our likeness use laws are incredibly lax. So I wouldn't say it's illegal, but it is certainly unethical.
Now I'm remembering why I even for a moment thought that it might be a real thing, because look, a fiery showdown on 60 Minutes, CBS. I was like, okay, that all bets are off with 60 Minutes at this point with CBS.
Right.
If there was some kind of, but then I immediately was like, nope, this is garbage.
Yeah, because Tom Hanks hasn't been on 60 Minutes.
He openly challenged Pam, bluntly disclaimed, like, how would you get Pam Bondi to sit down with Tom Hanks on 60? Like, how the fuck would that even happen?
Yeah, it's just made up.
So Tom Hanks appeared not as familiar role as a Hollywood icon, but his voice for public's growing skepticism. He did not evade, nor did he soften his words. His statement aimed squarely at Pam, who was the person sitting across from him based on this premise, so why would he aim at anybody else?
Right.
Was believed to be connected to the story of a woman hidden by power for many years, instantly pushed the conversation to its breaking point. The issue is no longer simply about who is right or wrong, but about a far larger question: who has the authority to speak about the truth? I mean, it's also just nonsense too. Like, it's not even coherent the more you fucking read it.
Right. The more, yeah, that's what makes me think it's AI, is that like this is not a coherent thought. It references events that sort of pass beyond the like normal level of fake news we have in our society.
Yeah.
Just it's a fake.
Yep. Well, there's that. I just wanted to get that off my chest and get it out of ventil about that a little bit because it was pretty fucking frustrating to read.
It's pretty
to see this
gross.
stuff, like repeatedly, and I kept coming back, and then of course there is actually a link in the comments of each one of these that takes you to a website that has many pop-up ads. So
Right.
somebody's making money off of this,
Yeah, and that's the point, is to like, they don't put the link in this is the latest in Facebook ad slop technology, is instead of putting the link in the promoted page where someone can flag it as scam and the system will automatically go, hey, this is some scam because there's a scammy link there. You put the link in a comment and then it's fine.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's not a good bellwether for the future of things.
No,
I mean, I like to think, but I mean, this is my bubble too, that not a lot of people use Facebook anymore, but that's just not true, right?
it's just not true. Yeah, the numbers don't. I think it's still more popular than Facebook or than Twitter, for whatever passes for Twitter these days. But
In a weird way, that's kind of good, I guess. I don't know, man. None of this shit's good.
it's differently bad.
It's all different levels and degrees of bad. I mean, thankfully, it's easy to find the real information, the real stuff out there. Like, when it comes to this Venezuela thing, I was making sure that we had all the right information. I didn't want to get any kind of AI crap or anything. So I got this is what I think is a real message from Trump on Venezuela right here.
Oh no.
Amigos, yo soy su nuevo presidente, el señor Donaldo J. Trumpo. Your ex-presidente, el señor Maduro, is no longer your presidente. He kept talking shit, and fucking around, though, and he ultimately found out, though. Anyway.
That is some fucking racism, bro.
That is just racism.
I only watched the first few seconds and was like, "Oh, that's kind of funny in a stupid way."
It would be funny if it was on. Not right now, right? Like not this moment.
Well, yeah. Let's continue on with this, guys, because I mean, other than this being just done as a distraction for Epstein, which we can get to, we're going to get to that as well, but. Yeah, otherwise, let's see how else he sums this up, because it's pretty good.
War, and this will be a war, is the oldest tactic in the authoritarian playbook to distract an angry population and justify violently oppressing opposition. The U.S. is being rapidly dismantled. Our already poor childcare, healthcare, education, regulatory systems, and more are being torn apart by the Republicans.
All this has been fact-checked by true patriots, so I agree with that.
I mean, that's just, yeah.
The wealth gap continues to widen. Republicans are losing elections across the country. And of course, the Epstein files were released just 2 weeks ago. And even in their fractured, heavily redacted state, they are very damning to Trump. Yeah. So, of course, he has to do something about it. And
oh, man, he's really going with that framing. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, that's... well, he's... I guess what I have to say about that is it's better than Chuck Schumer's.
Jesus Christ, yeah. So, well, Schumer's position was basically like, "Oh, he lied to me."
Yeah,
he was. I can't believe now. I want briefs. I want updates on this whole thing as time goes on. That's what I want.
It was like, basically, yeah. It's not that I have a problem with it. It's that I wasn't part of the conspiracy to kidnap a sovereign leader and
also just like lie to me some more, Daddy. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, but that's Chuck Schumer's kink at this point, and you can't convince me otherwise.
I mean, it's either that or he lies to himself about the Baileys and whatnot.
Same difference.
Yeah, it really is. Well, fucking Schumer needs to go. Almost more than not almost more, but I mean, he's up there on the list of people that need to get the fuck out of government. He's up there.
Yeah, of the people who don't have R's next to their name, he is probably the top of the list. But I mean, there are a lot of people with R's next to their name who need to go first.
And there's a lot of people with D's next to their name that simply are not recognizing or being, their interests do not lie in being an opposition party. And therefore we don't really have one.
No. I know. What's his name? Kyle Kalinske?
Klinsky, yeah.
Yeah. Often will say that the Democratic Party is only as liberal as its most conservative member, and we're seeing that in full force right now. That as long as you have the Chuck Schumer wing of the party at all, period, I don't think we're going to see anything that resembles justice.
And in fact, I have a clip. Oh, okay, apparently I've got too many clips and I got to delete some. That's okay. But yeah, it's there are there's a few people who are doing excellent work considering, but their power is not nearly enough.
Right.
Because the power is not supposed to come from a few people. It's supposed to come from a party.
Right.
The party. And you know, it's frustrating. And so let's I don't know, how do we want to do this? Who's I'm sure everybody's aware of like what has happened by now, right? Like I don't think we need to do like a full on Saturday morning. You know, do we need to do that?
Sure. It's quick. Saturday morning, the United States carried out a military operation to bomb the capital of Venezuela as part of an operation to kidnap the leader of Venezuela and his spouse.
You mean arrest a narco terrorist?
Well, we don't have jurisdiction there, and our military can't carry out law enforcement operations, so no, it's a kidnapping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but is it not in a long tradition of just deciding that we can do whatever we want in, you know, South American countries? And
I mean, it very much is that.
So, I mean, why break tradition, right? No. Yeah, it's you know, I didn't have time, but I wanted to make a meme of like the Scooby-Doo with Fred taking the mask off the guy or whatever, and it was like, you know, MAGA and America First. You take the mask off, and it's just neocons.
It's just neocons, yeah.
Like, this is a fucking neocon wet dream, man. Just going in there, fucking, and you know, I actually have
the only way it would have been more neocon than this if they would have said do it for Cheney.
Oh god.
And the only reason they wouldn't say do it for Dick is because people would think they were gay.
Yep. No,
and they've banned saying gay things in the government.
Yeah, which that's just the worst thing you can be as a Republican, is that. So
the worst thing you can be as a Republican is a Republican.
Well, I mean, from their perspective.
Yeah, that's fair.
So here's what I'll just give you a rundown of like the topics that I kind of figured we could go over. So Trump has invoked the Monroe Doctrine.
Which is not a law or treaty or any like real policy. It's just a thing.
And it's a thing from the fifth president.
Yeah.
The fifth, you know, 42 presidents ago. It's like,
we've had a few since then.
So there's that. There's Benny Johnson doing you know, and all these people doing fucking just absurd and to me absurdly obvious propaganda to deflect and distract, but you know, I guess some people
I would love to hear what their talking points are.
Well, here's what Benny Johnson's got, you know, because that guy, he's known for being a paragon of honesty and integrity and shit.
Or whatever the opposite of those things are.
Yeah. Here's a massive crowds have taken to the streets of Venezuela to celebrate President Trump's capture of dictator Nicolas Maduro. Someone should show this to the Democrats and corporate media. Down here, readers have added context. This video is from Santiago, Chile, not the streets of Venezuela.
Oops. Are you telling me Benny Johnson is lying?
And yet you see
again?
It's from yesterday and it's still getting shares and tweets.
Well, yeah.
It in the, it's like, man, we're kind of boned as a species, I feel like, but I don't want to say that because I'm just having a kind of a bad day, I'll be honest. Not my best day, so I'm kind of in the dark a little bit, so to speak. The dark part of my subconscious. So
that's why I tricked you into coming on air.
It's true. It's true. And thanks for that.
Thanks. You're welcome.
You know, you've got stuff like The Atlantic has a piece that we can't read it because it's paywalled, but it's, you know, seems
I think I have that piece from in a readable form in our
Are you
Discord.
talking about the suicide note one?
Oh, not that one.
The longest suicide note in American history?
No, I have not. That was not the one.
Yeah.
There's another. It might be a variety piece. Let me check. No, it's the Atlantic. It's because Trump is also like continuing to threaten other countries.
Right. Yeah. So pretty much immediately after the news came out of on Saturday of Maduro being captured, the wife of Stephen Miller, who can't stand to be challenged even a little bit on a news program without having a complete fucking meltdown.
Literally, like 404s and just has a complete crash.
She is and instantly starts going, "Oh, you're anti-Semitic. You're anti-Semitic." Like,
and we should also mention, not only is she Stephen Miller's wife, she's also, or at least was for a good while there, Elon Musk's girlfriend at the same time, because it's the family values party for monogamy. You see,
yeah, the family values and the family they're talking about is that cult, the family that
you're right, yeah,
very incestuous and so yeah, then we ended up with stuff like this. This is from this is actually a real video. I did take the time to make sure this is real. I'm not joking this time. But you always want to. I mean, if nothing else, that's what this incident has made abundantly clear to me. That like you do not fucking share anything. Don't unless you are certain that it is real, or at least state that you're not certain if it's real.
right.
Right. That's the most responsible thing to do. But this is real.
Good night. ¿Qué dice? Buenas noches, ¿no? Good night. Happy New Year.
What did you say?
Happy New Year.
Oh God. Gallows humor. So Maduro is not a good guy. This is the main thing. This is what the Trumpers are going to be. They've already been doing this where you're like,
not just the Trumpers too. This is the media talking point.
True. Yeah. The consent is being, like in the name of the stream, the consent is attempted to be written in real time, which is, that's kind of new. Usually they, for example, years ago, they would take their time and they'd like, go to Congress and lie to Congress and, things like that.
They do it in advance and everything. Yeah. Put on
a way, it's kind of symbolic in the fact that, because I mean, we're not rolling with Chomsky anymore. Okay.
No.
Chomsky, unfortunately, at this point in his life, he almost got out of it without any kind of hits on his dignity. But apparently, he was buddies with Epstein and buddies with Steve Bannon. I'm not pals with Chomsky anymore. And it seems like maybe that's just in time for his book his theory of manufacturing consent, which I wholly subscribe to. Being no longer as relevant as it used to be.
Because the people he's associated with.
Well, yeah, right, exactly. The people he's pals with are now just ignoring that. And they're just I mean, look, if you expected Trump to ask for consent, come on.
Guy is allergic to consent.
Truly. So I had to restart my computer, which meant that I lost all of the fucking tabs that I had open, and now I'm like trying to find them all. I'm sorry.
So, you know what I noticed with this? The perp walkie that Maduro got?
Yeah.
He's got less security than the kid who shot Charlie Kirk and Luigi Mangione, right? Like, those guys had like fucking security. Yeah. And they won't even give a kidnapped foreign leader, the time of day. They can barely find two cops to walk him down the aisle.
So just grabbing a couple more links open here, then I'll be done with that. But yeah, so the thing is, if anybody trying to come at you like, oh, so you just, because I've seen several times now, oh, the left just loves dictators. They always side with dictators. Of course, the right is going to, and the media, apparently, corporate media is going to reduce this down to the most reductive, asinine, point possible.
And to that, I have to say, quick question here. In a democracy where you have checks and balances, like the one we have, for instance, in the United States of America, you respect existing laws, right? There's a rule of law wherein one person isn't singled out for immunity to those laws.
Yeah, I mean, my point on this, the whole thing is like maybe Trump doesn't want to set the standard that like if a country decides that a president is illegitimate and a bad guy, that they could, somebody could just come in and take him out.
I am very curious to see what his travel plans look like the next 12 months.
Probably the Kremlin. That's about it.
We live in hope. Can he stay there?
Please. So the Monroe Doctrine, just to get back on that real quick, what that was James Monroe, 5th president. As Trump had shared a stupid cartoon, because of course he did, because that's how serious this guy is. A cartoon of him straddling the entire, like, his right foot on Canada, his left foot on basically South America. So the idea being that I run this hemisphere,
right?
And that's essentially what it meant. What the Monroe Doctrine was. It was American dominance in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah.
So the West, as is often referred to, essentially urged the division of the world into spheres of influence overseen by different powers. Monroe first spoke of the doctrine on December 2nd, 1823, during his 7th annual State of the Union address. Although the doctrine was not named that until decades later, he warned European powers not to interfere with the affairs of the Americas, stressing that any action of that sort would be viewed as an attack on the U.S. So, it's kind of weird to just evoke that, but somebody certainly told him about it, and he was like, "Oh, that's good. I'm gonna."
Yeah.
He might not have even known what it was before he saw that cartoon. Actually, that's very possible.
It's very, very possible.
He probably goes, "Steven, what is this? What is this?" Well, let me look that up for you.
Right.
So yeah.
But even then, he, in true Trump fashion, he's not really following the whole thing, because he's totally fine with his buddies being involved in all these places, right? Like it's he's not exactly being completely forthright in it, right? Very selective.
No.
It's not like he's saying we're doing the Monroe Doctrine, so we're gonna kick China out of South America.
Right. No, I mean this oddly does have plenty to, like we're saying, plenty to do with China and seemingly anyway.
Right.
So there's a lot of ins and outs here, a lot of what have yous. Trying to narrow down the most relevant bits, being that, like, okay, so Marco Rubio is kind of almost the most bad guy in this situation.
He really is.
Even more so than Trump, believe it or not. Just in this one scenario, because this probably wouldn't have happened without Rubio. Because he's he's got a personal vendetta against, as many Cuban immigrants do, against Cuba's Castro regime, the revolution.
You want a fun fact about Marco Rubio? Because his family I migrated as refugees to the United States from Cuba. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because they were fleeing the fascist Batista regime, not the Castro regime.
Sorry, say that again. Jordy is fucking running around like a crazy person.
Oh, jeez. That the Rubio family did not migrate here as refugees fleeing the Castro regime.
Oh.
They were fleeing the Batista regime.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a fun fact, isn't it?
That is fun. Well, I mean, he still had he's very much this informs his republicanism, I think, in that he's very anti communism or whatever brand of it that Cuba ended up being.
Right, but that was his family fled the regime that Castro overthrew.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, who knows? Who knows how that came to be? But I mean, nonetheless, the point being that he has this bone to pick.
Yeah, he does.
For a while, and seemingly, he's been given the position and the power to influence to do something about it. And whoever would have thought, little Marco Rubio, he seems so sweet and innocent, except for all of his terrible positions.
For all of yeah.
But yeah, he. So the point. What does Cuba have to do with it? Well, I think we're probably going to end up doing the same thing to them pretty soon.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
So for those who don't know, Cuba and Venezuela are decades-old allies for a whole host of reasons.
If you know what docking is, they've kind of been docked for a while.
God damn it, Dane. Oh.
Yeah, so basically there was Hugo Chavez hooked up with whenever he was prime minister of Venezuela, he hooked up with Castro, who was the president for fucking ever.
Right.
And they made some mutually beneficial deals, and all of which served to resist influence from America. Resist the economic pressures, resist and to bolster one another with whatever the other had that the other needed. And so yeah, that's that, and then of course sorry, Chavez, I'm sorry, Maduro begat Chavez. So he was it's all confusing. I'm trying to fucking bone up on this stuff today, and it's there's a lot of history here that I was not aware of.
Yeah, it's complicated, convoluted, and a pain in the ass.
Boils down to, as I'm sure most people know, there's a long history of the U.S. Deciding they can do whatever the fuck they want with these Latin American countries, and these Latin American countries trying to resist that.
Yeah.
And now here we are, and it's not good, folks. It's not good for many reasons. Not just the fact that we're probably going to end up doing the same thing to Cuba, but just anytime a president oversteps a boundary, even if and when we get Trump out of office, that leaves the door open for the next guy. You can look back to what George W. Bush was doing with which allowed Barack Obama to get into office and then just start fucking drone bombing like 7 or 8 countries that we didn't even know we were drone bombing for the most part. All throughout his entire presidency,
Right.
Without any kind of approval or anything like that, just drone bomb motherfuckers. So.
Well, I think one of those things. I think the sins of the Obama administration are numerous, but I think in that one, I think that this is what you get when you put a person who has served half a term in the Senate in the presidency. He surrounded himself with a lot of people who he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And then those people went on to scuttle the Harris campaign.
Yep.
Those were the people who told who directed the Obama administration to just do drone strikes everywhere. Was the same people who said that Tim Walz should stop calling Trump weird.
Yeah, and it was right around that moment that the tide started to turn from what seemed like a sure thing almost.
Right.
I mean, I can say this. I don't think any of us were super hyped about Kamala. There were some ways that we were optimistically hoping she would, improve on the administration she was part of previously.
Right.
But I'm pretty confident she would not have done this.
No. This is one of those things that, like, yeah, I do not foresee any Democratic regime doing this. Though, I say that. But now, if we wanted to overthrow, some right-wing dictator somewhere, what's to stop us?
Yeah,
what are the Republicans supposed to say?
There's a valid conversation to be had about how much, if at all, the U.S. should be involving itself in the affairs of nations that have, like, for instance, a brutal dictator, which it seems like Maduro had become to varying degrees. I haven't verified a lot of the stuff that I've kind of gleaned, but it seems like it's a pretty big piece of shit. And then he came into office, to be, man of the people, working party and stuff like that. But as time went on, and then it became, economic challenges, we'll say that, he essentially just, did a Putin and yeah, we'll have an election, sure. And then, oh, look, I won. But there's actually a widely recognized opposition party that seems to have probably won the last election, and they just did not allow them to take office.
And the Trump administration has already thrown them under the bus.
Yep. which is crazy because it seems it's like it doesn't make any sense. Like even from the perspective, like okay, if you try and adopt the perspective of like, all right, we're gonna go in there and if you approve of that, like going in there and saying, let's get Maduro out of there so we can make the country amenable to our interests and what we want to get out of it. Okay, so then you took out his vice president, right? No.
Nope. His head of
Okay.
internal security, nope. His minister of defense, no. No. Just him. And I think here is why. I think the more kidnappings you do, the more things can go wrong, and the more time you have to be on the ground. And I think a big part of what the DoDs wanted, like they did not want to say they had boots on the ground. They wanted this to be in and out.
That's the thing. They're trying to have their cake and eat it too.
Right.
They won't because boots on the ground. That's another level of that's going to start bringing up Vietnam shit.
Right, and this has been the talking point from the regime. The regime all day is that we don't have boots on the ground. Which if that's a talking point they're fixated on, that means that that's something that they do not want to be accused of.
Right.
Well,
no, I mean that doesn't seem to be the case. I don't think he wants to start. I think that he believes the bullshit that he's saying. That he wants this vice president that has now been sworn in as the new president. He thinks that she is going to be amenable, and he's essentially threatened her life.
Right.
What he said was, she could face consequences unless, could maybe even worse than Maduro.
Right.
That's essentially saying, do what we say, we're going to kill you.
Or we'll kill you, yeah. Because now he has gotten away with this. Like, well, the initial wave of politicians who commented on this were very much in opposition to this. I think with Chuck Schumer coming out basically in favor of regime change, means that there will be no consequences, even though everyone involved belongs in a deep dark hole.
Well, with that in mind, let's hear what Kat has to say.
Democrats right now to grow a fucking spine and stand up to Trump, along with any Republicans of conscience. And that doesn't mean strongly worded letters. This man needs to be impeached, convicted, and removed as soon as humanly possible. This is literally what impeachment is for. And I don't want to hear any excuses. 30 years ago, lying about a blowjob was a convictable offense.
True.
Starting a war without congressional approval has to be one too. Draft articles of impeachment today. And in the meantime, until that happens, we cannot allow Congress to sign off on this. Congress alone holds the power to declare war. The military is not supposed to answer to just a single man. It is ultimately responsible to the people and those that the people elect. I'm a former journalist running for Congress, and I'm not just making this video as a commentator and a candidate, but also as a person. I grew up in the wake of 9/11, and I watched as we sowed terror and threw away countless lives for the greed of just a few men. And I refuse to let that happen again if I have anything to say about it. Because in the end, our representatives answer to us. And we want to make our country better, not everywhere else in the world worse.
Based.
Yeah.
And I only wish she was actually already in
office.
I mean, hopefully she wins, but I mean, it seems like, if the wind holds, she might.
Yeah,
but,
I think she stands a real chance.
Yeah, it's so how do you think this is actually going to help with like Trump's approval rating and whatnot? You think that it's possible?
I don't think his approval rating is going to move one way or the other. Okay. I think that honestly, seeing what I've seen today, I don't think this affects his ratings at all, one way or the other. But I do think that the tepid response from people like Chuck Schumer, because I think even a lot of like more liberal people were like, well, let's wait and see, because you, of course, online, you have the online lefties who are immediately ready to go to war with the Democrats over this. And I think even a lot of the wait and see to what the Democrats do, people are upset with what the Democrats didn't do.
Well, just right out of the gate, we had I mean, almost instantly. You had the Washington Post.
Yeah, the Bezos Time or Bezos Post, big fans of this over there.
Oh, not that one. This one. Yep. Justice in Venezuela. Of course, it's an opinion piece. It's an editorial. So, well, okay, but it's the one that you put out that day.
It's the one you put out. Yeah.
Millions of people around the world, most of all in Venezuela, are celebrating the downfall. Like, I mean, and that two things can be true at once, man. Like, now, would we be happy if somebody came in and took Trump out? I mean, different, circumstances. I mean, on the one hand, it'd be kind of a relief. On the other hand, it'd be terrifying.
Yeah, I like. Honestly, no. I want him out of power. Yeah, but I'm not gonna party in the streets because.
No, yeah, there would be no. I would not be partying in the streets.
Well, especially think of how this was done. If you literally took Trump off the street, right? Trump is a symptom of the disease. Trump is not the disease.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, getting rid of Trump would enable them more.
The most optimistic appraisal of that would be that maybe that the chaos it would create would present opportunities for something better, but that's almost certainly not what would happen.
Right.
The kind of chaos that something like that brings is, I mean, yeah, it's you said Putin came out and said that he didn't like it. Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. Like, Venezuela is one of their international allies who's pretty, I don't want to say in tight with them, but sort of as a like anti-US power.
Right. So one thing I wanted to, this is kind of just an aside almost, but like, I don't think that this is the reason why Marco Rubio has been like, I think that what we're about to see here, it might be a result of the stress and the pressures that he's feeling being, in the situation he's in. Then this is not me having sympathy for the guy whatsoever. I'm just saying, because he's put himself in this fucking situation. He's fucking completely bent over backwards to kiss Trump's ass to get a little bit of power. Or perhaps maybe Trump has something on him. I don't know.
Both, right? Like, all of these things can be true. And
but it is okay to ask for help, Marco. It is okay to seek treatment.
Vladimir Putin today.
Oh yeah. Look at how red he is. Oh my god.
It's a short jump. Like, he looks
Vladimir
blasted.
Putin had his own,
Oh. Is he doing the mouth thing?
Yeah.
He's doing the mouth
He
thing.
went, I think, 4 hours. So
Look at
got
him.
at least 3 hours. And he said he was willing to end the war in Ukraine.
I bet you didn't do it in Spanish.
Oh my god. That's a Coke thing.
No, it's right.
It looks
he
like
said he was
it
willing to
like
end the war in
legitimately looks.
Ukraine based on principles
That's the only thing I think of it is as
That
cocaine.
included a
Like, at first I thought he was
complete
drunk, but he's doing the mouth thing. He's coked out.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yep. I mean, I've found quite a few posts where everybody's just like unanimously like, that's cocaine. It's like, well, first of all, thanks for letting me know you've tried it.
I have family members who have done a significant amount of cocaine.
It
I
has
don't do
pretty telltale signs,
Yeah, I don't do cocaine because I have a significant number of family members who have done cocaine, and I've seen what that does to them. So I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, you are on board where we've been for some months now. I'm glad you're here because that is absolutely generally the position that we hold here on this channel. And I mean, whether or not it's going to be successful, I fucking hope not. They're just as evil as they are stupid in some cases. So it's really hard to tell which one's going to win out.
Yeah. And I think that's the joke I've seen go around is that Maduro's not going to make it to trial because ICE is going to deport him.
That's fucking good.
I'm kind of rooting for that. I'm not going to lie. Like,
yeah, fucking, Christian was like, oh, we made a mistake. Oh no,
she's got to kill a whole new dog.
Deported Maduro. What you said? Just deport all the,
right? Deport
like
all people from Venezuela. Deport them to El Salvador. He's in CCOT.
I mean, so by the way, the charges that have been brought up against him are absurd.
They really are.
never mind the fact that the narco-terrorism thing is not something that any serious analyst has, and even our own intelligence, I'm pretty sure, has debunked the idea that
Yeah.
massive amounts of drugs are coming in from Venezuela.
No.
The drugs that are killing people are primarily, by and large, fentanyl, which the precursors come from China, and it gets cooked in Mexico, which, by the way, might also be another thing that, because Trump has talked about going to Mexico.
Yep, he has.
The one thing that I can say that from this is that we ought to maybe, Trump talks a lot of shit. He made a lot of claims, a lot of things he wants to do and stuff in the past. It kind of seems like maybe when it comes to the military action, we might not want to just completely write it off.
In his first term, he had a Secretary of Defense who wasn't a drunken yes man. Because he wanted to go to do some military adventurism.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't allowed to do more wars because the people he was sort of tricked into putting into his administration told him he couldn't.
Drugs are not made in Colombia and Nicaragua. That's not really how. I mean, what drugs are you talking about? Like
cocaine.
I mean, Yeah.
But also, as far as fentanyl, like, a lot of it is also just made here.
Yeah, we make our own fentanyl. It's a pharmacy grade thing that's made in pharmacies.
Yeah, it's.
And I mean, I know this from personal experience because my dad used to get it. My dad used to be. He had fentanyl patches, like transdermal patches that he would stick on his back because he had severe. But I mean, I'll tell you this: I tried it one time. I'd taken Vicodin before that point and stuff, and here and there, whenever I had the opportunity and I was hurting or something, my dad would give me a Vicodin and be like, "Oh, that's no big deal." That shit had me puking my guts up for about 8 hours straight.
Yeah, fentanyl is powerful.
It is a severe fucking powerful drug. Like, and so there's also been a lot of well, that's true. There's also been a lot of absurd fucking propaganda about fentanyl, especially when it comes to law enforcement talking about it. They've made claims of things like if a cop accidentally touches a fentanyl, he could die, which is not true. That's not just
it's not remotely true.
But that was a very. I even believed it at first. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's crazy. I hope no cop touches some fentanyl. Jesus Christ. Now they all touch fentanyl. But anyway,
now they're all hopped up on it. Yeah,
that was years ago. Yeah, Bongino may be the Hux. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, I don't know how true that might be, but I just think it's a funny fucking thing that you brought up Hux. Yeah, this is the right channel to make that reference. I'll say that. And yeah, I don't care if they win. I just don't want them to lose or whatever the fuck the line was.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, keep in mind, and this is what I would hope any Democrats worth their salt, and I know that Ro Khanna and a few others are almost certainly going to be doing this. Keep the fucking focus on the fact that this is a lot of money that went into this operation and will go into any military operation, because we have a vastly over budgeted fucking military, and then meanwhile, people can't afford fucking groceries.
Right.
People can't afford fucking rent. People can't afford shit. It's the income inequality has reached a level where there's kind of it's already at a breaking point, I feel like, and we're just gonna have to see where it breaks before too long.
Right.
I don't know what it's gonna look like. Don't know what's gonna happen, but yeah. It's gonna be good.
And I don't think any of us have an idea of where that breaking point even is yet.
Darth Vance. Well, so one thing is that, yeah, here's this real quick.
Trump has invaded Venezuela and kidnapped Prime Minister Nicolas Maduro. I know you're expecting me to criticize it, but I actually agree with Trump's Director of National Intelligence.
What we are hearing is an increased saber-rattling intention, saying the United States needs to send in the U.S. military now to wage yet another wasteful, counterproductive regime change war. And once again, it's being done under the guise of humanitarianism. When we look throughout history, every time the United States goes into another country and topples a dictator or topples a government, the outcome has been disastrous for the people in these countries. That's why we should use our leadership in the world to try to broker a diplomatic solution. I can tell you as a soldier, Martha, I've seen firsthand the hot of war.
Yeah, well, man, that lady, she's got some good points there.
She does.
Yeah, I wonder if she expressed any of this to him in his current context, or if she learned her lesson from the previous, whenever she was talking about how, Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons. What are you talking about? And then, she got shut down pretty quick.
Yeah, she did.
So, fucking.
And that's the old Trump lay off anyone who disagrees with you, right?
Yeah. Is she still the director of national intelligence? Is she still?
I don't know. How many Scaramucci's has it been?
What's that?
Was his chief of staff Scaramucci was there for like 10 days?
Yeah, 19 days or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's no winning, right? Like there is no winning. And it's definitely, I don't know, man. It's frustrating. There's the only thing that it is so important, guys, that you don't let the mainstream media fucking change your mind, obviously, but do what you can to keep people from getting distracted, because there's some well-meaning people out there that maybe are a little bit naive, that'll still fall for some shit,
right?
They might still fall for the Venezuelan people are happy. It's like, even if that's true, some of them might be, some of them probably are, some of them definitely aren't. Like it's a country is full of different people.
Well, here's what I'll tell you.
Have self-determination. You know what I mean? It's
for about 40 Venezuelans are dead, killed by the U.S. bombing. Any pictures you see of people celebrating in the street are almost certainly AI,
or just as Benny
or
Johnson,
from some other thing and place.
Yep.
Yeah, because you'll get the Benny Johnson thing, the disinformation classic of just use a picture from somewhere else.
Looking at this what was that goddamn picture from Washington Post, I just noticed that the very picture that they used as their main one, this is Venezuelans living in Chile. Celebrate Saturday in Santiago. It's like, well, okay, not to say I'm not trying to discount their identity as Venezuelans, but like they aren't dealing with the immediate fallout of the situation.
Those are expats, right? Those are people who have left for probably very good reasons.
Good reason, yeah. I mean, but like, yeah, it's notable that that's the picture that you used. Why didn't you use a picture of Venezuelans in Venezuela? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a fun one. What's up with that, guys?
Yeah. There's that. And then so this video that we got here, we kind of want to look at, is from first of all, actually, before we do that, let's talk about oil.
Let's talk about oil. Because I learned new things about oil in all of this, things I did not know before.
About the different kinds of oil?
Yeah, that was something new to me.
Mm-hmm. So apparently there are there's essentially a couple of different classifications for oil. The type of oil that is typically used. Let me pull this up. If you have anything you want to say while I find this, you can go for it. But
so yeah, I think that I think the one thing I want to add before we play this clip is that you're going to hear a lot of people have a lot of different reasons for why, right? Like a lot of justifications, but I think all of these things can be true, and not all of them will be true. So you're gonna have to be judicious in your comprehension of the news. And that's sucks, because what the fuck is the point of having news if they're all just a bunch of lying sacks of shit? But here we all are.
Yeah. Oh, man, I thought I had this shit saved somewhere, and I guess I do not. My bad.
All good.
It was a post on Bluesky that I broke down the different types of oil, and apparently didn't share it or anything. So
Yeah, it's the heavy sour and the light sweet.
yeah. And
And
the fact is, so basically, like, here's one thing I can say without looking referencing the information that I thought I'd saved. It will take 5 to 7 years to get the infrastructure in Venezuela up to par to even begin, producing oil to any degree that matters.
And that is if any of these oil companies want to even bother.
And
because there's a real chance that sounds like a lot of work.
I think Chevron is the one that's already been there the whole time.
Yeah.
And then there's like ExxonMobil and whatever else, like BP or something that they're not in there. They were kicked out.
Yeah, they were kicked out by the not the Maduro regime, the Chavez regime. Thank you.
Yeah. So also, here's a quick thing. You remember that Vanity Fair article that came out with was kind of a profile on Susie Wiles?
Yeah.
And all the great images that were taken. So part 2 of that came out.
Oh no.
And here's a quote. But Wiles conceded that attacking targets on Venezuela's mainland would force Trump to get congressional approval. If he were to authorize some activity on land, then it's war. Then we'd need a Congress. We need Congress. So that was on November.
Then we would not before. We don't need a Congress for anything else, right?
That was on November 2nd. So just keep that in mind. That these people are going to say the fucking anything, and even the innocent old granny looking lady is going to just say whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And this is also important context. We arrested, prosecuted, and convicted the former president of Honduras, who was a bad dude who messed with the United States. And Donald Trump pardoned him and let him out of prison.
Yep.
And I've seen Rufio
Rubio.
Yeah, has been asked about that, as well as Trump himself, I think, and they kind of just hand wave that away like it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah. Well, because they're until there is some entity that can hold them account, why would they do anything else? Right? What makes you think that these people who have shown themselves completely unwilling to respect the rule of law at all, why would they ever think otherwise, that you will get anything out of them that they don't want to already do?
Yeah. This is from 2003. Still relevant.
Yes. Well, and the whole Iraq war was for oil, and it still cost us, I don't know, a couple $1 trillion, I think, at the end of the day.
Something like that. Yeah. I mean, the fact is that we don't need anybody else's oil. We produce our own oil.
Right.
So what the real question becomes, like, what is this really about? It's not humanitarian. I promise that.
No.
If it was that, then why is he not just taking care of his own damn people? And so that brings into this video to play. And yeah, as Morgan said, this is an analysis. It's not necessarily the position that we're taking or anything, but it is seems more well researched and knowledgeable than we are about the specific topic. And it is an interesting angle that I haven't heard discussed anywhere else. And so this is a channel called Unfuck the Republic.
Morning, the United States carried out a special operation strike in Caracas, Venezuela, and captured President Nicolas Maduro, along with his wife Celia Flores, who were reportedly being taken to Manhattan to face criminal charges for drug trafficking. Now, according to Venezuela and U.S. sources, the strikes hit military sites, but the U.S. military coordinated with CIA operatives who had knowledge of Maduro.
Here's a question. Why did they take his wife, too?
I've been wondering that myself. I don't have a good answer.
Yeah.
Maduro's whereabouts, which led to his capture. So we have to be extremely clear about what this portends, because we have officially crossed the Rubicon on this one. Now, I think we're all pretty clear on the notion that this wasn't about drugs. So we're going to talk about what this is really about. look at the justifications that are coming from the White House and from the mainstream media, and explain why this might be the most illegal thing the United States has done since Kissinger's secret bombing campaign in Cambodia. All right, so let's start by addressing what's already happening across mainstream media. The whataboutisms have already begun. The major news outlets are all trotting out their usual suspects, the professional.
That's valid. Yeah, I mean, you definitely have a lot more control over Maduro. I'm sure. He's probably as much of a piece of shit he is. I'm sure he loves his wife. So yeah, you can make all kinds of threats against him. That you wouldn't be able to make otherwise if you have her.
Pundit class on speed dial to tell you why this is all justified. And if you're a Fox viewer, why you should feel terrific about what just happened. I mean, they're talking about how Maduro was deeply unpopular, a terrible economic manager, a ruthless dictator who rigged elections and jailed dissidents. All true.
Wait, who are we talking about?
Maduro?
Trump? Wait.
Also
No.
that.
Oh no, look, he hasn't rigged elections yet that we know of.
I mean, he
Maduro
made phone calls about it.
He tried to, for sure. Yeah.
presided over an economic catastrophe. Partially our fault, but it was a catastrophe nonetheless. He's authoritarian. He suppressed opposition, but none of that matters, not in what we're talking about right now, because we're being asked to accept a whataboutism that completely obfuscates the primary issue here. This was an illegal, unconstitutional, unprovoked international war crime, the likes of which we haven't seen in a very long time. So let me be absolutely clear about what happened. The United States military, without a declaration of war, without congressional authorization, without UN Security Council approval, without any legal framework whatsoever, bombed the capital city of a sovereign nation and kidnapped its head of state.
So I want to also just point out too that when we talk about Trump as just a symptom, yeah, and he would not have been able to do this had there not been a continuous expansion of the executive powers over the last several decades, almost a century.
Yeah.
To the point where there's, I think, every single president in the last 5 presidents, at least all the living presidents, I believe, are war criminals, essentially. Right?
Yeah, I believe so.
And they have not faced any consequences. So why would Trump think that he couldn't do something like this? You know what I mean? There's no real consequences. So
right.
Full stop. And already I'm watching cable news glaze the military, talking about precision strikes, stealth operations.
Yeah, man, it's just not impressive anymore. That shit used to be easier to get me when I was much younger anyway and naive. Riled up over the fucking, oh yeah, we're so fucking badass. Our military's so awesome. Yeah, man, we've pumped trillions of fucking dollars into this bullshit every fucking year. And yeah, of course we're going to have a fucking excellent war machine.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's not fucking impressive anymore. It's actually, the more your average person is suffering, the more fucking insulting it is that our war machine is so goddamn fucking, yeah.
Right. It would be impressive if we used it for good and not for ego, right? This is all for Trump's ego.
Mm-hmm.
This is why the opposition leader has been cut out of this process. Is because Trump really wanted the Nobel Peace Prize she won. That was his, you see.
And she tried to dedicate it to him.
And she tried. But
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that I never realized this until I guess now, really, but the Nobel Peace Prize is a stupid piece of shit. I thought that it was kind of a fluke that they gave Obama one before he was in office, and then he ended up being a war criminal. But
right.
I think that the whole, I'm gonna have to look into it. I want to see how long it's been, if it's always been just like a, cynical fucking ploy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the history of it that well. So
Jimmy Carter in Afghanistan, huh? I don't know the history of that either. I'll have to look into it.
Well, yeah,
Brave
Jimmy Carter
men and women.
Jimmy Carter's the what? Was it Jimmy Carter who sold the arms to the Mujahideen?
I want to say that was Reagan, but I don't know for sure. So
yeah.
in uniform, all of these superlatives designed to whitewash the fact that we just literally kidnapped a democratically elected world leader and we're flying him to New York.
Well,
Sort of.
democratically elected with an asterisk.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he was maybe at one point, but as far as I can tell, the recent election, not so much.
But it is of note that any expert on fair elections is pretty sure that Putin hasn't won a fair election this century, and I see the Trump administration is in no hurry to depose him.
Right.
To face charges.
Because he's got pictures of Trump blowing Bubba.
Well, that always helps.
Is an illegal system he never consented to. Now, before you jump in with, oh, but Venezuelan elections aren't legitimate. Yeah, I get it. They have serious integrity issues. But let's not go down the road of comparing election integrity among supposed democratic nations, because we're still currently partnered with Saudi Arabia, an absolute monarchy that doesn't even hold elections. We prop up dictators across the world who suspend elections and constitutions whenever it suits us. We've recognized coups that overthrew democratically elected leaders when the outcome served our interests. And given our own recent history with election challenges and lawsuits and Jan 6, maybe we shouldn't be throwing stones from inside this particular glass house. Now, the professional pundit class wants you to focus on Maduro's sins to justify this action, but don't fall for it. Any take that you see that offers a whataboutism on Maduro should be ignored completely because it distracts from the central point, that this is unprecedented. And I hate that word because it's so overused, but it genuinely applies here. You would have to go back to the CIA-backed coup that overthrew Salvador Allende in Chile in 1973 and installed the dictatorial regime of Augusto Pinochet to come close to this level of intervention. Or, yes, Kissinger's secret bombing campaign in Cambodia.
I mean, but the Pinochet thing, that worked out pretty well, right?
I mean, as far as transphobes are concerned, yeah, they fucking love that guy.
Yeah. Operations conducted completely outside of congressional authority that led to hundreds of thousands of deaths. I even saw a pundit try to draw parallels to Nicaragua in 1989, but that doesn't work either. Yes, the U.S. spent a decade destabilizing the Sandinista government through the Contras, economic embargoes and diplomatic pressure that eventually led to the electoral defeat in 1990. And yes, the Iran-Contra scandal was one of the biggest political disasters in American history. But even that involved covert back-channel dealings over years. It wasn't a direct military assault on a capital city.
The brazen nature of this is, I think, obviously I mean, it's very Trump,
It's very Trump.
Yeah, and I wanted to say something too, and I'll save it and I'll make a note here to remind myself to say it before we're done here. But I did manage to come to an understanding about Trump voters, MAGA people, that I never had in all this time. I never been able to nail down
what their bullshit is.
Well, just like, as time goes on, they become more and more willing to just completely reverse positions on everything, essentially, if it means that, that they're in support of their guy.
Yeah, sure. What conclusion have you come to? I'm curious to.
Well, just so I was listening to an episode of the Foreign Report podcast. Then they had this guy on there that was, I forget his name. He's one of these types of not really pollster, because that's not exactly what he's doing, but one of the types of people that goes around and gets the temperature of voters for the Democrat Party.
Sure.
And to try and figure out like what's the messaging that we need to kind of lead with and stuff. I mean, what he's doing is kind of a new project. It's actually pretty interesting, where it's not really about polling per se, and it's not really about like a survey or even like a focus group. It's more focused on narratives. What are the narratives that people have in mind about the way things are going, the way they see things go, and things like that. It's pretty interesting. But nonetheless, he talked to lots of Republicans and MAGA people as well. So for the longest time, the Republican Party, ostensibly at least, was about smaller government, and the only thing that essentially the government should do is protect the borders, and a lot of people believed that. Whereas like the Democrat Party or the Liberal Party was more seen as like, the government should do everything that it can for the people,
Right.
at least ostensibly. These were the messaging anyway. And I think that over time, everybody, especially as income inequality has fucking skyrocketed, as the wealth gap has gotten just beyond absurd, I think everybody, left and right, has come to the even intuitive conclusion that the government needs to do more for people, period. But because I guess conservative minded people they're kind of co-opted with, and they were kind of prevented from coming to the natural conclusion about that, and they're just kind of like, it's like they're just happy to have somebody in power that does something. They don't care what it is. They just, he's doing a thing for us. It's in our name. You know what I mean? So like in that way, it means it doesn't really matter what he does. He's just doing something. It's government doing something, and they made it happen by voting for him.
Right. I can
And
see
so
that.
like, and I'm not saying this is sane. I'm not saying it makes any sense whatsoever. I'm just saying this is what I kind of feel like is the mechanism that allows their brains to justify a lot of this stuff. Is that like, we know that the government should do very specific things to make lives better for everybody, including MAGA voters.
Right.
But they have, on the one hand, have been inundated with this idea that the government shouldn't do anything for people, really. At the same time, they kind of feel like they know that that's what needs to happen. So rather than being able to accept that, what, maybe the left has been right, and they need to we need to put a cap on wealth tax and stuff like, no, it's just make him, the guy's going after the people we don't like. That's what matters. He's doing cool stuff with the military or whatever. And
sure,
that kind of just like placates them to a degree. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that explains some of it. I think it explains it better 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
8 years ago.
Well, I mean, at least that's what got them into the cult. Now it's
right. That
just cult logic. But
once cult logic kicked in, I don't think that holds. I think that because it's not like he's even doing anything for them. Like I've had this conversation with people on the right, including some MAGA people, who understand the tariffs are hurting them, but that doesn't change their calculus at all.
well, I mean, then you factor in the fact that a lot of people that are Trump voters, are in rural areas. They're from conservative, in some cases very conservative, very Christian, theocratic kind of backgrounds, and so like you factor in the psychology of abuse,
right?
And that they if you're abused enough, if that's all you've ever known, in some cases, deprivation and abuse, you don't, it's, I don't know, you can't even imagine that something better can happen, right? So like that, yeah, I feel like those are all factors too. But yeah, of course, there's not going to be one simple.
Yeah, there's no easy trick to this. Yeah, wouldn't it be nice?
I mean, yeah, in some cases, look, I mean, I did have a premise for a video I was going to do at one point, and I'm sure it'll pop up in some video soon. But the idea that like I don't think that it is a coincidence at all that when you think of the entertainment, like the television entertainment that people on the right tend to watch compared to people on the left or liberals even, it's a lot of like, the stuff they like is like propaganda, or wrestling, and when it comes to anything with a narrative anyway, because sports are one thing, but like people on all sides like sports, but when it comes to narrative based entertainment, they love fucking WWE, man. It's more popular than it's ever been, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's huge.
And they take it seriously. It's like on the one hand, and I used to not understand how my dad could be this way. He was like, he knew that it was not real, but he definitely seemed to be very invested in it. You know what I mean? Like he would be really excited whenever somebody that he liked would win or lose or whatever.
Right.
And and I think that has kind of, that also lays the groundwork for this kind of thing, where they just, to them it's disconnected, and they don't feel like it's real, so they don't, I don't know. It's fucking weird. It's not healthy. I know that.
It's not. No, that is true for sure. It is not remotely healthy.
Well, by the abduction of a sitting president.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I said it's not healthy for them or for us, right?
Right. For anybody, not a single person. It's not even healthy for Trump. I mean, the guy's not doing well. You can fucking see his fucking press conference on Saturday was, you know.
Yeah, it was bad. He doesn't look good.
To go into the oil stuff as directly as he did, I feel like he maybe wasn't supposed to do that. You know, where he's like, "Well, we're going to go in and get their oil." You know, we're going to like, I don't know. Maybe
I don't want to overanalyze it.
Sure.
I do think that he wants the he wants the oil.
Yeah, you know what? That's absolutely right. Pork Chop Express, great fucking reference, by the way. I just got it. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I wasn't even thinking of that because that is just one of the things about fascism is action for action's sake, and that kind of lines up exactly with what I was saying. So thanks for validating me, man. I appreciate it.
Good job.
I love being validated. Validating
it's great, isn't it?
And also, if you'd like to support the channel, go to patreon.com/actualfandom.
Yeah, do it.
Currently, my channel is demonetized again. I'm under working that out, but it's very, very difficult to understand what YouTube wants from me when it comes to verification that they asked for. I send them documents to my fucking ID, and then I get another email saying that they need documents, they need verification. They don't tell me, did you get the thing that I sent? Was that not good? No, it's just the exact same thing you sent me the first time.
Right.
And there's no fucking way to call anybody. And I ask their fucking AI assistant thing, and it doesn't. It's like, here, just go to the community and ask in the community. I go to the community, and the question's been asked before, and people have similar situations that I've had.
Right.
So that's with that. It's very fucking frustrating. And I mean, depending on how that goes, this channel might just be, I don't know, might be done with it.
Might be moving on to a new name, new channel.
Yep.
New phone. Who dis?
Yep. I mean, my channel is really, really small. Like I would have, I've said for a while now that the liberal in was the liberal in the coal mine would be like David Pakman. So, if David Pakman's channel starts seeing, legal issues or challenges or whatever from the Justice Department, whatever the fuck, then maybe the smaller channels should start worrying. But until then, I think it's fine.
Well, I do think that if we were going to reach the day where they were going to make an issue of someone, it would start with a smaller channel.
You think?
I don't know that it would start with yours, probably because you're white, but I would imagine they would find someone.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Who knows? I mean, it's not like Google's on our side.
No. Google is very explicitly not on our side.
Well, I mean, the thing is they didn't. I was thinking about that. I don't think so, because the problem that I'm having is not something that they would have been able to report, because it's not something they would have even had any aware. It's all on the back end. It's all on. So the first time my channel was demonetized, it was completely my fault. And it was my fault that it happened, and then it was my fault or my choice after a while to just stop fucking caring. And it stayed that way for a long time. And then eventually I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot again. And I went through. The only reason I was able to get it to work last time, and I guess I'll just try it again, is I ended up calling support for Google OneDrive.
Yeah.
Right. Which is not YouTube. And they, for whatever reason, they were nice enough to kind of get me in contact and take my information and stuff like that and made the ball roll for the first time in almost a couple of years at that point.
That's probably
I guess I'm gonna have to do that again, because it's so fucking frustrating. The email literally says, please contact us.
And there's no contacting.
There's no contact. And then I go to my AdSense, which to say where there's a problem, and it's got a thing saying, verify, got to verify, blah, blah, again. And I click on that, and it says learn more. And I click on learn more, and it just takes me to the frequently asked questions page.
Right.
Which doesn't address my specific issue or tell me what documents that they're wanting from me. Right. I assume it's my, driver's license. So I send them that. Yeah, I just don't know. It's really frustrating. I mean, if it is somehow Chuds did this, then, I don't know why they haven't done it to other channels that are bigger than me. And I don't know why they were able to do it. But
yeah.
I don't have Cash App. I have Venmo and PayPal, though. I also have a buy me a coffee.
There's a coffee link down there. Buy me a coffee link. And you should. Coffee is delicious.
This is more brazen than anything we've done since the early 20th century, when Theodore Roosevelt was invoking the Roosevelt corollary and literally saying, we'll discipline Latin American countries ourselves if they step out of line. So let's apply the logic of the Trump administration to any other situation. The United States has been charged with crimes in the International Court of Justice multiple times. We've been accused of war crimes by numerous countries and international bodies as well. But we don't recognize any of these courts or their jurisdiction. But using the precedent that we just set, any of these countries would now have the same standing to bomb Washington, D.C., to fly into the Capitol with special forces, capture Donald and Melania, and spirit them away for trial at The Hague or wherever they see fit. Does that sound absurd? Yeah, because it's absurd. It's a flagrant violation of international law. It's a violation of the UN Charter. It's a violation of every norm that's existed since World War II about how nations should interact with one another. And I've already seen coverage of Venezuelans here in the United States and in Caracas being interviewed saying Maduro was ruthless and incompetent and he shouldn't be in power. But flip the script for a second. If another country did that to the United States, what we just did to Venezuela, if they bombed D.C. and kidnapped Trump, there are at least 150 million Americans who would give you the exact same soundbite. You'd be like, he was incompetent, shouldn't have been in power. Good riddance. Does that justify it? Of course not. Because domestic unpopularity is not a license for foreign military invention and kidnapping. All of this, every bit of media coverage focused on Maduro's failings is designed to distract from the point. This action is illegal under both U.S. and international law. It's incredibly dangerous. It sets a precedent that essentially says might makes right, and any powerful nation can simply grab the leaders of weaker nations whenever they feel like it. So what is this really about? Because this isn't about justice or democracy or any of the noble rhetoric that we're going to hear from Trump. So let me lay out the theories that are being floated. Is this about oil? Drugs? Maybe a distraction from the Epstein files because Venezuela was such an easy target? Well, in order, the answers are a little, no, and stop. But there's another element that we've covered before on this show that needs to be explained again because it's already getting lost in the noise. So let's break down each theory, starting with oil. It is fair to say that in the past, we have spilled blood for oil. That was pretty much the pretense for the Iraq War. But does the same pretense hold true for Venezuela? Because Venezuelan oil is not like American oil. Venezuela produces mostly heavy, sour crude.
I'm going to say is most likely an editing mistake.
Yeah, I think it's editing.
I've done that many times, actually, where, you just kind of momentarily lose because, everybody generally, if you're especially doing a video like this, you're going to do multiple takes, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not very careful, or if you just kind of get your eye off the ball for even a moment, you can very easily leave in the end of the other take or whatever the hell. And yeah.
Right.
Extra heavy oil from the Orinoco Belt. It's thick, it's contaminated with metals, and it's very expensive to process. So their main export blend is a heavy crude, but to make it exportable, they have to blend it with a light crude. So compare that to U.S. oil. Our benchmark WTI or West Texas Intermediate and most of the shale output from places like the Permian and the Bakken are light sweet crudes that are easier and cheaper to refine into gasoline. So why does Venezuelan oil matter at all? Well, there is a case. Because U.S. refineries, especially in the Gulf Coast, were historically...
Oh, by the way, Quartering's coffee, don't buy it from the Quartering. You can just go straight to the source, which is actually it's a lesbian-run coffee place that they're essentially he's just doing dropship coffee that he gets from I forget the name of it, but that was exposed a while back.
That he was
just like literally an LGBTQ plus friendly coffee company that
he buys it from and just slaps a different label on it.
Yep.
Built
to just buy from his suppliers
and process heavy sour crude. They were designed to take imports from places like Venezuela, Mexico, and even the Middle East, and to blend them with our domestic light sweet crude. So these complex refineries are specifically configured to handle this nastier oil and turn it into things like diesel and industrial fuels. So Venezuelan crude is technically valuable to some refineries, even though it's lower quality on paper. So the two types of oil, heavy sour and light sweet, are complements, not substitutes. So we can make a case. But here's the thing. After years of U.S. sanctions, Venezuela has been shipping its oil to other countries with refineries that can also handle it, namely India and China. And here's where things get interesting. So, unbelievable timing here. Just yesterday, we released a piece about a new strategy unveiled by the BRICS Alliance. That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, along with some other entrants like Ethiopia, Egypt, and Indonesia, about a payment system that factors directly into what we're talking about today. Just this past December, just a few weeks ago, the BRICS Alliance announced an international payment system based on a new digital currency called the unit. So this represents a direct challenge to US dollar hegemony. Not immediately, but someday. But the more immediate concern is that if they perfect this system over the year, BRICS countries could theoretically start paying for oil with units instead of petrodollars. This is a massive problem for the United States. Again, not because we need Venezuelan oil. We are the largest producer of oil in the world right now. Chevron still does business in Venezuela as it is, by the way. ExxonMobil and ConocoPhillips would probably like to someday resume operations there after they were kicked out during Chavez's nationalization. But would we really risk overthrowing an entire government just to put two U.S. companies back in business, especially when oil's trading below?
Well, I mean, it's money, so it's a scam.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Capitalism's a scam, but like the problem is that all money is the only thing that money needs to be legit is people to believe in it being legit. And that means, and so that would take, if you have several economies, national economies that are taking it seriously and trading, goods and oil or whatever with each other, and then using that currency, that legitimizes the currency.
Right.
And then, it's also deflating the power of the American dollar, which is still somehow the thing that everything's compared against. So
right.
BRICS is failing like dollar. What do you mean? BRICS is failing as an organization or what, or group?
It might be.
Who knows?
I'm gonna step away quick. I will be right back.
Sure. In the meantime, well, I'll wait till you're back for that. But
$60. So even if these companies wanted back in, they're not going to invest the capital right now. Trump just put us into a global recession with tariff wars. So oil companies are pulling back on new investments right now.
I mean, why? That's all. It's how is it any different? It's all currency. All currency is whatever we want to call it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the placeholder for whatever the hell that we're wanting to call payment for goods, services. I mean, I'm fine with that, like at least, current have some credits, standardized credits or whatever. Like at least with that, we could sound cool whenever, like they do in Star Wars and shit. Like, I'm getting 40,000 credits for your head, Solo, or whatever.
They're not even exploring open leases in the United States, let alone trying to reclaim operations in a country that we've completely destabilized through sanctions. So anyone telling you that this is about the U.S. taking the oil doesn't understand the dynamics here. The oil story is about maintaining the petrodollar system. It's about making sure that oil continues to be traded in U.S. dollars, which creates demand for our currency and helps us sell the treasury bonds that we desperately need to fund our massive deficits. It's not about putting more money in ExxonMobil's pocket.
So let's think about this. Republican president, and every single Republican president for the last, I don't know how long, has ran up the deficit massively. But, they do that, and that means that they're probably grifting a lot of money out of that for themselves, and then running it up on the military and stuff like that. It's all scam. The whole thing is a scam. It's not even for oil specifically. It's for propping up keeping our deficit alive, and allowing us to continue to spend and borrow and money as long as we have a deficit. But if the U.S. dollar is undermined and it's no longer valued or whatever, then and we're not able to prop up our own deficit. That's not good. We're going to default on a lot of shit. Sorry.
And right now, a lot of countries are looking for an alternative to the dollar to invest in. Not that they will stop investing in the dollar, because like we also invest in other currencies as a cash reserve. That's just a thing large nation states do.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even have to be it doesn't have to become the new reserve currency to damage the dollar.
Right.
Just becoming a alternative reserve currency or a secondary reserve currency would be a problem.
Yeah,
Kind of for all of us in the United States. If you're living in the States, like it's given how much we benefit from the dollar being a reserve currency.
It's pretty obvious that, like AI, all this is Silicon Valley, but
Yeah.
when you trace it back far enough, right? But like, it doesn't mean it. This is just a very large attempt to legitimize crypto,
Right.
and it would legitimize basically the powers that have been diminished because of, or feel the diminished, or haven't wanted to take part in a lot of economic it's man, I'm crashing out. I'm fucking having
It's okay.
Caffeine is failing me.
Oh.
Alien Earth was about them winning. Yeah,
kind of.
Alien Earth was about, it's like cool documentary about the future, man.
Kind of, yeah.
5 companies own everything. Okay, I thought this was about the future.
Well, no, it's still like 12, Dane. They haven't consolidated that much.
True.
It's about ensuring continued demand for dollars in global energy markets. Because if Venezuela, and more importantly, oil producers in the BRICS nations shift to BRICS payments or currency that isn't dollar-backed, it undermines the entire structure that allows the U.S.
The unit sounds like a WWE wrestler or something. Like,
it does.
The unit. Sorry.
To run trillion-dollar deficits without immediate consequences. And we know it's not about drugs. Our own intelligence agencies have verified that the limited amount of drug trafficking coming from Venezuela is in cocaine, and most of that is going to Europe. The overwhelming majority of drugs entering the United States comes through Mexico. It's fentanyl and fentanyl precursors from China that are processed in Mexican labs and smuggled across the southern border. So if this was actually about narco-terrorism, we'd be invading Mexico or launching strikes on Chinese farms.
Yeah, so I think it can't be understated enough that like allowing them to get away with this. Of course, it's not like we have some mechanism to just make them pay for it, but them seeing no consequences for this, and just like people actually even praising them, mainstream media praising them for it.
Right.
It is. I don't think it's panic, like moral panic or whatever, to say that it's very likely to lead to Trump feeling emboldened to do it again.
Right.
It's probably almost a certainty that that's going to happen in Cuba, but even Mexico is possible, which is just, it's nuts. It's nuts to think that they might be going for that. So one of the first things that I thought, though, by the way, was, you remember that video that I had you watch about the theory of the new cities that Trump wants to build with all the tech bros and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder if he just is Venezuela just a place that he's thinking about setting up shop to go whenever he gets out of office? Like make a country in this hemisphere that's friendly to him, essentially.
That's hard. I don't want to say no, because that's certainly within the realm. Argentina and El Salvador are very friendly to him as it is.
But there's already freedom cities existing? No, not like to any real degree, right? Like they may have,
not that I'm aware of,
or something, but
I think what Porkchop is saying is that they'll try to build the freedom cities in South America.
Yeah.
I,
Well,
I also think that
why they wanted to do Greenland. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think, speaking of Greenland, I think that's a perfect segue. This is to normalize, and part of this, right? When we talk about this is for, that is not a unitary factor. There's a lot of reasons this happened. Part of this is to see exactly what will happen when we do that in Greenland. Because I think when he says we're going to do it, I think. Let me center myself before I go on a tear.
Sure. In the meantime, I got a couple of memes.
No,
well, not even memes, kind of, but comic book related stuff. So here's this. It's 1991. I'm watching an unpopular Republican president invade a country for their oil. It's 2003. I'm watching an unpopular Republican president invade a country for their oil. And it's 2026, and you get it. There's that.
There's that.
This is not an edit. This is actually just a real panel from a comic book.
This is actually just from,
Not again. We broke international law invading Panama. Now we're breaking the law again with fabricated drug war. Why can't we leave Latin America alone? Have we exploited them long enough? No, apparently not.
No.
Cap. Sorry, bud.
Sorry.
What I find hilarious is to think that, like, as we know now, Captain America is very much at the, almost at some of the top levels of security and national defense and stuff like that. Basically, now in the comic books, he would not be finding out about this at a newsstand.
No.
He would be like getting briefings or shit. You know what I mean? Like, Shield would be letting him know what's going on ahead of time before he would be like, "Oh God, what? I didn't see this coming."
Shield would find somewhere else for him to be before telling him.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, while you're halfway around the world fighting Hydra, surprise. Okay, so here has been the last year of the Trump administration. Trump says he's going to do a thing. A bunch of news people say it's, unlikely he's going to do the thing. A bunch of Democratic politicians come out and say, we'll stop him if he does the thing. And then he does the thing. And the news media says it's okay that he did the thing. And the Democrats go, oh, shucks. I guess he did the thing. And now, this is not all Democrats, right? But it is enough Democrats that the ones who are genuinely are like, no, we need to do a thing, can't do anything. They can't, right? How are you going to file articles of impeachment with Mike Johnson as the Speaker of the House and Hakeem Jeffries being an empty suit? How do you start this fight? Even if there are Republicans who are on board with starting a fight, and I think at this point there are a handful, maybe half a dozen. But as long as it's Hakeem Jeffries, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as it's Schumer in the Senate, and not just Schumer, but whoever's Schumer's whip, whoever his deputy is, like, it's not just one person who runs these things. It's a whole team of assholes. As long as those people are in those positions, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, we're aware. There's a video by I forget the name of the channel, but it's came out not too long ago where he lays out this theory, and it's pretty compelling and pretty backed by it's definitely not panicking for no reason. It's not concerned for no reason. It might be possible that it is off the mark as a theory. It might be possible that they're not able to make it happen, but it's definitely something that's been discussed and probably even planned to a degree.
Yeah. I think if we're looking for fallout from this, I would not be surprised if Trump travels to Europe and someone serves an arrest warrant on him very quickly from Denmark.
That'd be pretty crazy.
It would be. But like some country that has an extradition treaty with Denmark just lets that happen. Trump set the standard, right? The standard is there is no standard.
Right. Yeah.
And at this point, the United States is the new home of international terrorism. we're kidnapping world leaders. That's the business we're in, with something everyone agrees is pretext. Even the people who are saying this was a good thing agree that it was pretext.
See, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's probably possible. But
I
don't know.
I think that would involve him being willing to leave Mar-a-Lago permanently. And he barely wants to spend time at the White House.
Just like his wife.
Hi, hey-oh.
Got him. I mean, I doubt that'd be the case. CJH. I mean, I don't think he's worried about Canadian authorities arresting him. He probably.
I think the reason I say Denmark is that he is continued to threaten to annex them. I don't think you're off the mark necessarily if he gets back on his 51st state thing with annexing Canada. And at that point, I think that if he comes into Canada, you may as well.
Yeah, so what I've actually saw a news story that Denmark PM urges Trump to stop threatening Greenland.
Yeah.
Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has urged United States President Donald Trump to stop threatening. Oh, God damn it. Okay, cool. My shit just flashed and then nothing went away. Good. Okay. Threatening to take over Greenland after he reiterated his wish to do so following Washington's abduction of the leader of Venezuela. Makes absolutely no sense to talk about the U.S. needing to take over Greenland. The U.S. has no right to annex any of the three countries in the Danish kingdom. Frederickson said in a statement on Sundays. Has somebody convinced him maybe that like the Danish are just like, oh, we're stupid. We do super peaceful.
Yes, he believes that, obviously.
I mean, they have a military, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, they're a part of NATO.
They're part of NATO. That's the main thing. Yeah, they're part of NATO. Essentially, the theory behind NATO was that if hold on, I've got it here. Shit. Give me a second. I'll pull it up. You go ahead.
All right. Well, I'll fill in on this a little bit while you're pulling it up, the official documentation. But the U.S. invoked the NATO treaty obligations after 9/11 to get other countries on board with invading Afghanistan.
Right.
So the NATO treaty is not specifically the USSR or Russia as the antagonist. It's anyone who attacks a NATO treaty nation.
I have here. This is the official position of NATO. I believe this is actually from NATO. I believe.
You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
That's the idea, and so if Denmark is part of NATO, that's like saying that Wisconsin isn't covered by NATO necessarily.
Or I
like,
guess
sure, NATO, like Wisconsin isn't a signatory of the treaty, but we're part of the United States, which is.
Yeah, I mean, JD Vance is definitely got. I mean, there's a reason Vance is in the position he's in. There's a reason why Peter Thiel dumped more money than has ever been dumped into a single candidate for office into this guy who had no prior experience in office. There's a reason why after just like, I don't know, a couple of years in office, if that, he became vice president, right up the fucking list, beyond shot past. I mean, Rubio was actually on the short list for VP, but something compelled Vance past all that. And I'm pretty sure that is just, money, obviously.
Dollar bills, right?
But why was it him? Well, because he's shown a willingness to completely just throw everything under the bus for the Yarvinism.
He believes in nothing. I think he believes in Yarvinism only so far as Peter Thiel bankrolls him, and Thiel believes in Yarvin's bullshit. Though I will say, speaking of the couch fucker, the man who killed the Pope was not seen in any of these press conferences or anything. He has been absent in all of this.
Well, this is an interesting news story to have popped up. This is from September, but So I mean,
Yeah.
you know, they're not defenseless.
No.
I mean, yeah, man, that's look at little Zelensky. He's so tiny.
He has aged.
It's upsetting to see how like
It's upsetting.
he was a very telegenic guy, you know. Originally, he was literally on television, and now he just like he looks fucking haunted and not fed well.
Probably because he's both of those things.
Yeah. You know, it's history. If history doesn't go the way of recognizing that guy as you know, one of the real ones, then things have gone badly.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only reason that the war isn't going better for the people of Ukraine is because the Trump regime has decided to ass fuck them.
Yeah, because they got involved to do their negotiating, you know, and this has been the longest 24 hours ever, to be honest.
Right, yeah, that war was supposed to be over.
Yeah, the first day.
351 days ago.
Mm-hmm. So, well, you know, speaking of tech bro bullshit, I've got some shit here.
Let's see some shit.
So Microsoft CEO, he's just saying, guys, stop calling it slop, man. That's so mean. Stop saying
Pop that
slop.
up on screen. I want to see this.
Microsoft CEO begs users to stop calling it slop. We need to get beyond the arguments of slop versus sophistication. No, we don't. No. I mean, you were not giving us anything other than that to discuss. In mid-December 2025, the editors of Merriam-Webster's dictionary chose slop as their word of the year.
Fuck yeah, they did.
Their definition, digital content of low quality that is produced usually in quantity by means of artificial intelligence. It's no mystery why they felt the term best described 2025. It was a year beset by uncanny AI-generated ads, search engine decay, and a tidal wave of AI music spam, which is a segue to my next thing. Streaming apps for music. So struck a popular nerve. Not everybody appreciated the dictionary's cheeky dig at AI companies and the cottage industry of slop they've engineered. In a year-end roundup shared via LinkedIn, for instance, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella made it clear he'd prefer we left the term in 2025. No, fuck no. Now I'm going to fucking say it even more.
Now I'm going to say it more, fucker.
We need to get beyond the arguments of slop versus sophistication, he wrote, arguing that humanity needs to learn to accept this so fucking dystopian shit, man.
No, it's not. Because it doesn't fucking work.
The new equilibrium of human nature. What a fucking deranged way to describe this shit. That's so fucked up.
It is none of those things. It is. And
there's this article apparently there's growing evidence that AI harms human cognitive ability. I'd say that's probably true.
There's a number of studies at this point that show that AI users in a position, field, or area of study are less competent, less capable, and less innovative than their independent counterparts.
Nadella's comments come as Microsoft users have revolted en masse, hell yeah, against the company's AI products, which have largely been forced on them without consent. Having as somebody who just got a new computer a couple of months ago with Windows 11, never used Windows 11 before, I was overwhelmed by how much it was fucking pushing Copilot or whatever the fuck on me.
Oh yeah, it's so like I use Microsoft OneDrive for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And it automatically
Me too.
switched it to it upped the price and switched it to their like plan with Copilot. And the only way to get rid of it is to go to cancel. Say you're going to cancel, say you really mean it, and then they will offer you the plan without the AI for whatever the original price was.
That's fucked up. I mean, I have to look into it because I've had problems with OneDrive dealing with my the recording I've been doing because I didn't realize even at first that it was saving only to OneDrive. Okay.
Yeah.
So because it has a digital representation of your desktop on OneDrive, and so when I looked and I didn't look closely enough, I thought, oh, it's on my desktop. So I'm thinking that I'm opening stuff from my desktop.
No, you're opening it from.
And I realized, oh no, this is the desktop that's just been a facsimile of my desktop on OneDrive. That's fucking fucked up. Mm-hmm. I don't like it. I don't know how much that has to do with Copilot, but it still doesn't like any of it.
No, it's purposefully obtuse.
Yeah, and I basically ended up There's probably a good couple hours of recording that I did one day that I lost because I didn't realize that it was only saving in OneDrive.
Right, that's unfortunate. That sucks.
Yep. So now, yeah. But there's that.
I want to answer this question from Mikey J.
Yeah.
Because I think when we're talking about this, it's actually important to discuss like the purpose of an operating system. Why does an operating system have quote unquote plans? We live in a digital age wherein hardware software compatibility is always going to be an issue, and hardware is always going to be pushed to get better. On top of that, root level security is a operating system problem. And so in order to secure your operating system such that people will buy it and use it regularly, you need to regularly and frequently update your operating system, often hastily, with jury-rigged fixes because, oh God, it's a day zero exploit, and we have nothing we can do about it. This leads to an amount of bloat and technical debt in your operating system that will eventually require you to use a new version. So you need to plan what that looks like years in advance. This is completely independent of any AI integration into anything. This is just how things are done in the operating system space, whether it's Windows or Mac OS or Unix or Linux or what have you. It's just it's the way of the world.
So yeah, and so related to that is what's going on Spotify, which I have not been using for some time now. And I mean, the thing that sucks is that there's almost no choices to make that aren't somehow benefiting, one of these tech companies.
Yeah, it's evil all the way down unless you're going to waste the flag.
Apple, you've got Spotify, you've got Amazon Music. The only one that I haven't tried yet is Tidal because I'm not in a position to start paying for some new service that I'm not. I mean, I guess I look into it, but I just haven't.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, on Spotify in particular, which I think is the most popular music.
Spotify is the most popular. Yeah.
They have just changed CEOs. Apparently, I heard. I have not looked into that either, but so maybe it's not the Nazi guy anymore. I don't know.
That would be nice. It'd be really cool.
It'd be cool if Spotify was not run by a Nazi, but we'll see. But nonetheless, they so recently there was this kind of went under the radar a little bit. There were several music labels were suing these companies like Suno and whatever other AI music crap factories. Yeah. They were suing them for producing music that was very, very similar, very, and seemingly intentionally designed to resemble music that already exists, artists already exist,
right?
Real artists, human beings. And that lawsuit ended, and there was a settlement reached. I don't know the details. I don't know if that's even public, but it seems like at the conclusion of that lawsuit, the AI company said, "Well, now it's time to release all this shit that we've been making this whole time."
Right.
And so now there are literal, like in particular, the metal community is up in arms about it. They're one of the ones raising the biggest stink because, metal fans are going to be pretty pissed off. Like pop music, look, I hate to say it, there's a lot of, kind of inorganic elements that go into that shit.
Right. Metal is, yeah.
Metal is like you just still mostly just some people playing instruments, that has definitely incorporated like metal cores, incorporated more, digital stuff here and there. But nonetheless, once you start shoving this shit down metal heads fans' throats, they're not going to like it, and that's what's happening. So a lot of people are complaining that just listening to an album of band they like, that album will end, and then suddenly there's a handful of bands in particular that they're getting like hundreds of thousands of plays per month. In one case, I think at least one, there's millions of plays per month this band's had, and they're just the lamest names of a band, but then the songs, the music is designed clearly fashioned to resemble specific bands, and then even the album covers look exactly like an album cover
for a real band. Yeah.
Pull this up here. Oh shit! I thought I had that downloaded, and I guess I didn't. God damn it! Dang, you fucking idiot! Yeah, I know.
Well, I think I guess one thing we could do, go back to buying music.
Yeah, I mean it's rough, but like, I mean the fact is, this is how fucked this is. This is how much Spotify in particular. I mean, but all of them. But let's use Spotify. Doesn't respect the music that props up their platform.
Oh
I mean,
no, they do not.
because they're not. They don't pay them much at all. Now
No,
they could choose. They
shit.
could have chosen to do it differently, but essentially they had musicians in a vice where they're like, how else are you going to get people to listen to all your music but us? So we're going to take what we're going to pay you, which is just a little bit. And then to that point, there's like they're not making enough money. Now they want to allow these AI fucking companies to crank this crap out, put it on there, and only now is Spotify now going to implement a thing where it will even say that something is AI produced whenever you're listening to it, or you click on it.
Oh my god.
So that's something they could have done right out of the gate.
right away, yeah.
I feel like they should have, but like no, now they're doing that. We'll see how well that goes. But actually, I have a video here. Let's check it out.
A year and a half ago, I made this video where I talked about a band stealing another band's song beat for beat for some quick clout. I mean, we talked about it for a week and then we forgot about it forever, so I guess it's not a very long-term strategy. But today, I wanted to talk about a different kind of stealing. You see, simply plagiarizing something, in hindsight, actually takes quite a bit of effort. I mean, you gotta download the original at least, you have to.
So there is a Reddit thread on r/metalcore and probably others as well, where they're actually doing that. They're listing all the artists, quote unquote, that they come across that are AI.
That's awesome. That's a fantastic project.
I would just search Reddit and try and find somebody doing a similar thing, whatever music thing you're into. And I'm sure there's somebody. If there's not, maybe you should start that.
Yeah. This is to answer this question, Screwface Capone. As far as U.S. law is concerned, at time of recording, a machine generated anything cannot be copyrighted because only a human can file a copyright.
Right, but the thing is, so that's another problem, is like it's hard to even get a hold. If a human being rips off a song and uploads that ripoff without that,
right,
can very easily, you can find that person and go, hey, you either take this down or you're going to start paying us royalties. Whereas with this, it's like it's some company. There's often it's not clear who's putting the stuff on there.
Right.
And then it doesn't matter if it's copyrightable, because for one thing, who would want to?
Right.
But like that, they're still getting paid through Spotify.
Right.
It doesn't have to be copyright. I can upload, and I plan to upload my music very soon, and it'll be on whatever, and I'll get whatever pennies that gives me, if anybody ever listens to it. But yeah, it doesn't have to be copyrighted to do that. I mean, you just have to let it. I mean, so whoever owns the music needs to be, that needs to be clear. And that's the thing, that the challenge I came across was that some of the music that I've produced is produced with someone else, and I have to get them to sign off on, getting that. Yeah, so that's in the works.
To kind of study it, you have to recreate it, and then you still have to change it up a bit so you don't get caught as quickly. But if only there was a simpler, quicker way to steal, one that requires zero work, like a magic box that you can just put whatever you want in and it spits out a finished product. If only there was a product like that. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about AI slop. Not just any AI slop, metalcore AI slop. And I wish I was joking. You see, I don't go on Twitter that much anymore because, I don't know, that website just makes me angry. But every time I do, guess what? I get angry. And so as I was scrolling, getting my daily dosage of anger, I stumbled upon this post of someone calling out something going on Spotify, Apple Music. We hate Spotify and Apple Music, right? It's just kind of one of those things that you are stuck using and there's no good, easy alternative, but you still hate them because they don't respect or pay their artist, right? And you might think, well, that's the extent of it. They can't stoop that much lower.
And yet
they can. In this post, I saw a few screenshots of some music artists on Spotify having cover arts that are very similar to that of, The Devil Wears Prada, Knocked Loose, etc. And I was like, oh, well, that's quite interesting. Let me look them up. Sorry, I was listening to some Psycho Frame before I started recording. But as it turns out, this is a whole AI-generated artist. Now, I know that to some of you this is not news. This has been happening for at least more than a year now. Some scam artists popping out of nowhere, dropping some AI slop on the platform, and then raking in a few dollars off of it, you know, however much Spotify pays these days. And a few times those actual bands actually did get quite high in terms of numbers, and then they got some notoriety about them too on social media. But at least they were their own thing, as much as you can call something AI generated its own thing. This, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the most egregious examples of someone just stealing and getting away with it, because that tweet that I showed you was from like 3 weeks ago. It's still up. All of it is still up. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, the fact that there's just zero consequence for stuff like this at this point on platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, it just enables more and more people who have access to these AI tools to make this stuff. And guess what? Who has access to these tools? Everyone. Now listen, I'm not going to play any of these songs, and I implore you not to play them either, because it just feeds into the goal of this person and many people like this to just click on play.
Example anyway, because we're not going to listen to that either. But
no, don't do it.
Here is the cover of this artist Broken Avenue, which is just fucking such a lame fucking band name. Broken Avenue. And their single for "You're All I See" versus the band Knocked Loose, which is a real band with real people. And their album is called "You Won't Go Before You're Supposed to." I mean, there's not even any doubt that that is intentionally done to mimic that album cover and just to deceive people, which is really pathetic. And like, if that's the best you can do, where like you're gonna try and trick people into clicking on something because they think it might be the thing that they want to listen to, and then hope that they don't notice or something, that's just like fucking. That's pretty fucking low, you
know. It's gross. I don't have another word for it.
And there's other examples of the same Broken Avenue. They've also got art that, and I haven't listened to music either, but I assume it's almost as similar to the, you know, while still being a clear facsimile. You know, like, I mean, it's hard to put my finger on it, but like the one on the left, the real one, there's obviously differences, but there's lots of the same. But the difference on the left, it looks like there's some artistry there with the photograph. You know, it's like, I don't know what it is, but like the person being farther away and you know, from the side, it looks somehow more like it's making some kind of statement. I don't know what it would be, but you know, on the right, it's just like, oh, just put a person looking at the cross, and that's all. That's fine. You know, I don't know. There's just it's soulless, man.
It's plagiarism. It's a bad copy, and that's all.
Yep. And so then another thing about this is that I have a from Futurism also. Zuckerberg's former top AI scientist quit, and now he's saying the reason is, and this kind of explains a lot, is no, this guy's not a hero just for quitting or anything, but he's not like, oh, I felt they were being unethical or whatever. It's because his position got diminished by another person called let's see, so somebody named LeChun that Zuckerberg brought in. Oh no, so LeChun is the guy that he was the guy who'd been at Zuckerberg's company for over a decade, where as chief AI scientist, he had the freedom to carry out all kinds of esoteric AI research without necessarily having to worry about developing a profitable product.
And now the bill has come due. Then
November 2022, ChatGPT came out.
Yeah.
And suddenly, we have to do something to compete with that. We need to put out a product. And he's like, you know, I mean, I guess there's some ethics involved in there to a degree, where he's like, I wanted to take time to develop something that actually is, you know, useful maybe.
Right.
But Zuckerberg said, no, that's not making me money.
That's stupid. Yeah.
And I'm Zuckerberg. Everybody knows I need more money.
Right. Because I need a third underground bunker and a fifth yacht. This fucking guy. So here is, I have a thought with the AI album cover. Can you pop that bad boy back up?
Oh shit! Did it?
Because I'm gonna go on a tear here for a minute.
Yeah. Did I think I closed it. Shit.
You think you closed it? All right. It's important for my tear, otherwise I would tell you to fuck it, but
Okay, I'll pull it back up.
But don't fuck the robot. Never fuck the robot.
That's
which is
the
also
new,
part of
that's the new position. Don't fuck the robot. Just don't.
That'll be part of my tear too. Don't you worry your pretty little head there.
It's really not fuckable, you know?
No. Oh, it is all the way gone.
Yeah.
All right. I want you to think back to that AI album cover that Dane shared.
I can pull it up real quick. Give me a second. I got
Okay.
it. Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. That right there, that is the best use case for this technology. Plagiarism and cheap copies. That's it. That's the highlight of the technology. Everything else we've seen out of it is fundamentally, undisputably worse than that. From AI psychosis to murders to pizza recipes with glue on them to everything going on with Grok right now.
And people dying because they asked Grok or whatever the ChatGPT when the low tide was, and it told them the wrong time.
Right, it told them the wrong time.
And they drowned.
Something you can go to whatever your local version of the weather is and find out. Because that shit's like math. This technology.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to point out that this person has offered $100 to anyone who can get legitimate contact info for James Trolby. You know.
Yeah, I would like to know. I would love to interview James Trolby.
Here's more examples here. So this is Broken Avenue, another one there. Broken Avenue versus.
Wow, it just is like knockoffs. It's all knockoff.
Yep.
I will double that $100. I will also pay $100 if you can find this person.
Yeah. Don't fuck the robot, folks. It's not even really fuckable, but I know some people will fuck anything. JD Vance and couches, so to speak.
Right. Well, just think he got caught fucking that couch and he killed the Pope over it.
Right. I mean, bad timing on the Pope walking in when he did, but that's
Don't fuck up the Pope's couch, man. That's just gross. But no, I think that like this shit is fractally disgusting at every layer of it. Because we talk about like the AI development guy at Meta he's quitting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever any of these guys have quit elsewhere, it's almost always to take another job at some other AI company. They don't leave the industry unless they're a woman or a person of color, because they get forced out all the time. The AI subsect of IT is somehow even worse for women and people of color than the rest of IT is, which is crazy. And we're seeing it used to make porn of people, to make deep fake porn, and to make CSAM. And the news is talking about it like a person did that. And no, Grok didn't make that porn. Someone provided Grok the data to do that, and someone used Grok to do it. Those are the people who belong in jail. And they do. And anyone who's worked on Grok is involved in the production of CSAM. And I've heard a lot about what should be done with child predators, with regards to what should happen to me because I'm trans and therefore they think I'm a child predator. But when it comes to these actual child predators making actual CSAM at an industrial scale, that's fine, I guess.
Just to add a little bit more here. So, and plus I just wanted to say that what this article says about James Trolby, who may be a real person or maybe just be 3 chat GPT prompts in a trench coat. Yeah, and then so the platform Deezer, which I have not looked into yet, other than it's been proposed to me whenever I look into podcasts. So I don't know, I'll have to look into it. But Deezer apparently they revealed that over 50,000 AI generated tracks are uploaded. You want to take a guess at how frequently?
Hourly?
Daily.
Oh,
50,000 AI generated tracks are uploaded every single day, which accounts for around 34% of new music on the platform. And they've at least started tagging synthetic uploads. Broken Avenue, the fake band with the this doesn't exist, has 20 fans on Deezer, but 6 figures on Spotify, which strongly suggests bots. Playlists, and both doing the heavy lifting. Yeah. So here's where we're at: fake bands, fake art, fake people, real money.
Yeah,
and almost none of it flowing to musicians who actually create something.
No. It all. I mean, the one making all the money on it is Spotify, right? Because they're making if that whoever uploaded that AI content gets a 20th of a penny per play, well, Spotify is getting a couple of real cents, a couple of whole cents. They make all the money on it, but the people spamming it out, because they can do it in such a volume, it doesn't matter. Oh, yeah. Maybe a song got 10 plays a day, but you've uploaded 50,000 songs a day. That shit adds up quick.
I do have one final thing that is a bit of a downer.
Oh, because the rest of this hasn't been?
Yeah, well, this is, it kind of goes hand in hand, because as we're talking about the rise of bullshit information in digital form, we might actually be seeing the downfall of actual information in actual forms. So NASA reportedly shutting down its largest library and throwing materials away. That was a Trump administration order, I believe, where they were ordered to get rid of everything. It's not enough to just shut a library down. You got to get rid of everything that was in there. I'm honestly a bit confused about the state of NASA, because I felt like it was dead for several years now, I thought, and then I keep hearing, you know what I mean? So I don't really know what's going on with it.
Well, NASA's a complicated agency, right? Yeah. There's a lot that goes on there. There's space. Their program to continue space exploration has largely been privatized by prior administrations.
Right. Hence Musk and his
Musk rockets. Yeah, and his exploding.
They're supposed to do that.
No, child, they're not. That's not how that works. This is actually, I'm going to push back against this in a forced adversity. Check our own side. Most Christians are not flat earthers. That is not true. Most Christians are not flat earthers, and most Christians aren't young Earth creationists.
Well, and I'd also just say that, a lot of the best stuff that NASA is responsible for wasn't even necessarily directly about space exploration.
Yeah, it's a lot of the stuff that you invent to go to space is just broadly useful shit. Our understanding of how jet engines work almost entirely comes from NASA, as far as the last 50 years of development. Part of and this is one of those things where, Congress, as far as the disaster budget bill for March, gave NASA a bunch of money. And the regime is like, nah, fuck it. We're not going to give them the money. We have some political appointee as an interim director of NASA because we don't want to put an actual scientist in charge. And yeah, this is
previous coverage of it where this guy said it's like taking a Maserati to the junkyard to get crushed because your driver's license expired.
Right. And you want to talk about wasting taxpayer dollars.
Right.
This is not just wasting the taxpayer dollars used to make it. It's wasting the tax dollars used to destroy it and eventually to make more of it when we need it because we made that stuff for a reason.
Well, as it's pointed out in the first article here, it's like let's see, Dave Williams, a scientist who took NASA up on its offer for him to retire early last year. He told the New York Times, "It's the same people, and they make the same kind of human errors. If you lose that history, you're going to make the same mistakes again." As in all the stuff they're throwing out. He's like,
"Yeah,
these reports of closures at Goddard are deeply concerning. I will continue to push back any actions." So basically, like they're taking data and things that are hard fought information and to things that are learned, essentially just learned information, and you throwing it out, and it's just a fucking shame.
Do you know where a lot of the anti-NASA stuff comes from in the regime?
No.
Climate change. What does NASA stand for? Do you know off the top of your head?
National Aeronautics and Space. I don't remember the exact
administration, but yes. NASA studies climate data. They make weather satellites. Knowing how our atmosphere works is kind of critical to what they do. And monitoring how it changes over time. Also, something NASA has been involved with since there's been a NASA. But that's really inconvenient because NASA is one of the most popular departments in the government. People as a whole have a high opinion of NASA. They put us on the moon, right? You're never going to take that away from them.
Holy shit. I want you to look at, like, down at the bottom of this article is more NASA articles, most of them by the same writer.
Okay.
I just want to take a look at these. NASA moving out of entire buildings as it's gutted by Trump. NASA insiders say they're now under constant attack by Trump's White House. NASA staff slam leadership for complete breakdown in communication under Trump. New NASA director taking over agency in crisis. Trump executive order quietly declared that NASA is now a spy agency. And this one's just great. White House mocks NASA commitment to sending women and minorities to the moon, which was made by the first Trump administration.
This tracks, yeah.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah. Mikey points this out. NASA is one of the few federal agencies that people literally plan to take trips to visit, right? Like, it's a national treasure. And we're destroying it.
Yeah, we're having a Space Force, man. More like space farce, am I right?
It's space farce, yeah. Well, and here's the thing. Because NASA has always been involved with the military, right? Those two are not separate entities entirely. And so when the first Trump regime was like, we're doing a Space Force, and we're like, that's really dumb.
That was an attempt to co-opt NASA's mission for, like, probably to a degree, right? Like, to kind of...
I don't even think that it was, just because you put a lot of the, like, Aerospace Defense Command stuff that existed into Space Force, which means they would be working with NASA, and you probably could have combined them and NASA, and that would have been smart to do. It, in, like, a general sense of the, like, yeah, we probably should keep an eye on having some way to work in space. We're Space Force, and let's be real, we're not using NASA for space exploration right now. Anyways, we've contracted that out, and moving it to DoD sort of as a part of a mainline branch of the military is a way to suck up unaccountable dollars to do actual space exploration. Let's be real. This is really it. Science is woke, I guess. Yeah, it is.
Well, I mean, and but the fact is that, like, yeah, we won the space race more or less, right? But that doesn't mean that we should just give up on space because of the fact that, I mean, as soon as that happens, I mean, if it's not already happening, you're gonna somebody's gonna be planning some way to, do something. You know what I'm saying?
Every other country on the planet.
There's so many reasons not to do this. It was one of the most popular, or I think the most popular department.
Yeah.
In the government for a long time. Like people love NASA.
Yeah, they're great. NASA's great. That you would gut NASA is almost unthinkable. But here, I mean, everything the administration has done is unthinkable.
Yeah, they've really and they've made the doing the unthinkable almost just like it's a positive to MAGA voters. It seems like
it is. It absolutely is. Well, I want to touch on this one. Science is woke, I guess. Like, this is how bad they think science is woke. When Elon Musk and his little junior fascist scouts went through the administration, stealing all of our data and cutting up the government, they went in and removed a bunch of things from funding by searching the word, well, rather the prefix trans, because they want to go after the transgenders. But that included things like transatlantic current study, like that military things that were just like transcontinental, stuff. All of those things, right? Just because they have the trans prefix. Like science is woke, and so we're going to get rid of all the trans in science, even though that's a lot of shit.
Yeah,
most of it having nothing to do with transgender people.
So Elon Musk has accused, at some point, he accused the head of NASA of being gay.
Yeah.
That's a headline here.
That's, yeah.
As well as, NASA employees submit formal dissent saying Trump's cuts are so brutal that astronauts could die.
Yeah.
God damn, this is depressing to see all these, because I found more. There's another batch of just listed headlines here. That is depressing.
Yeah.
Now that NASA found signs of life on Mars, it's clear Trump made a massive error. Yeah. Say so. I mean, it's probably clear before that, but
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, there we go.
Good times. The world's great. I love it here.
Well, I mean,
this is true. This is genuinely true.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, I always kind of felt that as well, intuitively. But I mean, look, I've got right here. This is a quick little video summary of the U.S. right now, currently.
I feel it. I feel it.
With that in mind, I suppose let's go ahead and wrap it up.
Sure. I do have, let me just get something pulled up quick if you want to vent for a moment.
Okay.
I have a thing.
Morgan's got a thing. I've got, I don't know. Well.
Want to talk about the potential new channel name?
Well, I haven't really gotten any
about it.
So, okay. Yeah, I haven't done any move on that yet. So I've been kind of wrapped up and stuff. But here's this as a quick reminder of why this is all stupid. But
I have peers, people in my business who were single issue Republican voters, and their issue was twofold. I mean, they were anti-woke, against any policy or language that could help the vulnerable get a leg up, and God knows that makes sense. So, but they also were very worried about their free speech. They didn't want their free speech to be infringed upon, which it never was. I mean, they'd say things and there'd be cultural pushback, and they were like, that shouldn't be allowed. But ultimately, all they really wanted was to be able to say the R word with impunity. That was why they voted. But along with that, comes the collapse of the federal government, the destabilization of the global economy, tens of thousands of people being deported to places they might not have even come from, the actual suppression of speech and rights of LGBTQ people and women, and the rise of authoritarianism. And sometimes I feel like asking them, was it worth it, you fucking retard? And I guess some of them would be like, yeah, it was, because now on our podcast we can bravely speak power to truth. Now the truth can no longer defend itself.
Yep.
Yep.
That's the only time it's acceptable to use that word in that way.
That it's the only acceptable use.
And that one bit by Mark Maron that one time.
Mm-hmm. So if you are in Wisconsin or the Midwest and you have nothing going on this week, Midwest Midwinter Gaming Convention is going on in Pewaukee, Wisconsin, about 20 minutes from Milwaukee. I will be there running Pathfinder all weekend. So if you want to get out of the cold and do something somewhere different, come on out. That's it.
Cool. I wish I was in the area, you know.
I wish you were too. We'll kidnap you sometime eventually.
Hey.
I owe you nachos, I think.
A couple of videos that I wanted to point to people to, if you wanted to kind of get in a little bit more of the fat flavor of kind of like our angle on things. There is Tom Nichols, who is a British guy who's got a pretty big following on YouTube.
Yeah.
I haven't watched a lot of his videos in a while, but like he's still cranking them out and generally seems to do good content. I've got a video from him that I'll end the stream with, or I mean a short clip from him. But he's got a recent video on this topic that I'll be showing a clip from about why the far right is embracing God so much right now. To the degree that we're like, you got Joe Rogan's going to church. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
His video on that is fascinating.
Oh, you watched it too?
Yeah, I watched it a while when I was traveling for work the last time.
Yeah, it was very good, I thought. You know, especially because it gives you more context of the European kind of angle on the same thing, and like, you know, this Tommy Robinson fellow that I've heard a bit about. Is that his name?
Yeah, Tommy Robinson. It's not actually his real name.
Oh,
that's what he goes by.
What's his real name? Is it something?
Let me pull it up because it's something really British sounding.
Somehow
more than Tommy Robinson.
There's a clip of him that I saw where he's like, it might be one that he's in that video, but I've seen it since then, where he's like, he's like, I don't know, he's talking, he's like, well, you know, here's why we're praying to Jesus Christ or something. He kind of like shrugs. It's almost like his body language kind of betrays him in the moment, where he's just like, you know, yeah, we're doing this because we have to.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if we really want people to get on board with this hating, you know, brown people, we have to put God into it.
Pretty much. Yep.
But there's a lot of people just won't hate people very easily unless you just, you know, bring God into the whole thing, and, you know, then we can get those people. But yeah.
So his real name is Stephen Christopher Yaxley Lennon. That is his God's honest name.
Okay.
And bro, I get it.
Wait, which Lennon is it? Is it Beatles Lennon or you know?
Neither. Or no, it's John Lennon. That's spelled like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that he's associated with that either. You know, that's too much of a peacenik.
Yeah.
You know, and he was only privately racist. You know. I don't know. I mean, I know he was privately a domestic abuser, but
that is true. Yeah. Good times. Right. I hate it here.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. So I don't know if you saw my stream on Friday, but
no,
you might not like me for this, but I feel like on some level, I haven't paid attention to him in a while, but it seems like Sam Harris has grown on some things. And he has been actively speaking against obviously Trump, but also Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, because he was friends with Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, he was.
And he's like now like straight up just calling out his personality fucking you know, disorders and shit like that, of like what he thinks is wrong with him based on his friendship with him, which is kind of, this was nice tea to have spilled. You know, like his realizations of emailing back and forth with Elon about this stuff, and like which it started over COVID, I believe, where he was Elon something's like, say, hey man, I don't know if you realize this, but this is actually correct. You know, it's pretty, you know, and Musk just kind of like, I don't know, basically memed in response about it, like he didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And that was whenever he was like, oh, maybe
he's insane.
But this is I think a well-made point from Sam Harris about Joe Rogan right here. Okay. I'm gonna play. What's going on? What the hell? It's just not gonna play. Oh, I guess whenever my shit's blinked out. Maybe it'll play now. Let's see. Oh god damn it. Nope. Apparently not.
Is there a link you can send me and I can add it or no?
I'll just have to re-add it real quick.
All right.
It'll take a minute, but
Yeah.
So Mom Donnie was inaugurated. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Happy New Year to New York.
Yeah. Really counting on you to pull this one off, New York. Yeah. You are essentially the petri dish that we are putting all our hopes and dreams into right now.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Okay. Nope, that's the wrong fucking one. Shit. I had 2 videos that were labeled with Joe Rogan, and then that picked the wrong damn one. All right, I can do it. I got this. What do you got going on this week?
Well, I just told you I'm running Pathfinder to convention. So I'm doing that all week. It starts Thursday, but I'm doing prep work all day Wednesday, and yeah, that's what I've got going on.
Here we go.
Responsibility as a journalist or as an intellectual or as a historian or as a scientist because he doesn't view himself as
glitching on your end, but it wasn't doing that before. So
he's taken absolutely no responsibility as a journalist or as an intellectual or as a historian or as a scientist because he doesn't view himself as a journalist or an intellectual or historian as a scientist. He's a comic and he's just shooting the shit with people and he's just exploring his interests, and great. It's Joe Rogan University, but he has to recognize that he's doing more than that. He's doing more than that just by virtue of having the audience that he has. But he's also doing.
All right, so everything I have is glitching out right now, like everything from comments to everything. So I guess just need to go ahead and call it there.
All right. Well, we'll save this one for next time. Maybe we can do some more Sam Harris research.
Perhaps.
I would love to check in with Sam because.
It sucked to have to kind of throw him away because he's definitely saying some shit during BLM 2020 that I was like, man, what are you doing? Like, you need to, but like, I think what it is that he is at least someone that does learn and incorporate new information just on certain social issues. In the past, he seems to have been slow to do so.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating whenever you're dealing with actual lives and issues that are happening right fucking now, that what happens right now can be a big deal. Right. To have somebody of his stature saying outdated shit or whatever.
Right. Just think of the 4 horsemen. He's the only one left who hasn't gone completely insane or died.
Or been accused of any sexual stuff, as far as I know.
Boy, howdy, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, you say Harris, I would say that I think I've even seen that he's come. I don't know. I have to look into it. I am interested to know if he's ever moved on the whole Muslim thing, like, because he's being as reasonable-minded person as he is in so many ways. It's so fucking weird that he wouldn't understand the fact that, like, if every Muslim was a radical Muslim, everybody would be getting blown up every day. Like, it's fucking crazy that he saw it the way he saw it. Definitely had a bias there that he was not willing to fucking explore. And
right, very much so.
Ben Affleck almost beat his ass for it, so
it's true.
Don't fuck with Batman. Wait, former Batman.
Yeah. Former Daredevil.
Oh man, you know what? On the Shillcast this week, you might see that. You know what? Let me do a little quick teaser of this because
teasing the Shillcast, are we?
I saw this and first of all, I saw this. This is maybe real, maybe not. Don't know. I literally couldn't find anything to confirm either way. But
yeah, I'm not convinced it's real, but it could be.
This is the main thing that I want. They're doing it. They're doing the thing. Just look at all these race swapped examples, right? And it's like you just start to look into any one row of them and you see several things like, oh, wait a second here.
Wait a second.
Did Starfire, was she race swapped from Orange? Or is that like in defense of Trump? Is that his honor that you're defending there?
Like
Nick Fury? You mean the Nick Fury from a different reality?
Ultimate Nick Fury, where he looks like,
So many of these are bad faith. So many of them are like, for example, the Johnny Storm. You mean the one that nobody liked, the movie?
The one
And
that- yeah,
not for
no-
his fault, he was fine, but like the movie sucked overall. But like we'd have a white one again. You know what I mean? So like, what are you fucking wringing your hands about? Velma, you gonna tell me that if she was not brown in that y'all would have liked that show? Is that what you're saying? You know what I mean?
Like anyone would have liked that show. People, the April O'Neil of that from the Black April O'Neil. A, she was originally black in the comics, and then B, I've heard that interpretation of Turtles is very good from people who like Ninja Turtles.
Well, you know who else was black originally? Baxter Stockman.
Oh.
And then they made him white in the cartoon, and you don't hear them complaining about that. That's weird.
Oh, weird.
And you don't hear, and they're like, well, what if we race swapped, made them white? So let's look at some. I'm thinking about doing this one Wednesday. I might pull up the historical examples of actual historical figures even that were race swapped to white. Such as John Wayne playing Genghis Khan or whatever.
Oh my God. You know what? John Wayne died for that role.
Good.
That role literally killed him, and I'm not joking.
I mean, it was that or the cancer, I guess, right?
Well, that's where he got the cancer.
I thought he got it from the smoking, but
no, he got cancer from the nuclear test.
Oh God!
It happened. It blew over the fallout from a nuclear test. Blew over where they were filming.
Oh my God! Well, after
That's the
seeing
movie that killed John Wayne.
After seeing that one clip I didn't know existed until not too long ago of him at the Oscars or whatever, where that they had that indigenous girl come up and speak, and
he wanted to fucking kill her.
Yeah, he was a big piece of shit about that. So fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him.
Be man enough to just fucking go by your fucking actual first name if it's Marion. That's what masculinity to me is.
Right.
It's a dude being like, my name is Marion. I'm gonna go by that. Because that was his name. For anybody that doesn't know. Anyway.
Anywho.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh boy, yeah.
All right. Well, you guys have a lovely week, and thanks for fapping with us. Hopefully, didn't get anything sticky on you. Here is the ending. It's a couple minutes long. Hopefully, if it glitches like everything else has been, then I'll just end the stream. But hopefully not.
Conservatives clearly see Christianity as having the potential to give new energy to their movement. At its most basic, the hope is that finding some common mythos might serve as a coagulant to a movement which is hyper-prone to splits and defections.
I'll be resigning from office, with my last day being January 5th, 2026.
The vague suspicion of power which defines the populist right at present might be replaced with something which looks a bit more like an actual ideology. Two recent events which took place this December, one on either side of the Atlantic, demonstrated the potential of this conservative turn to God. The first was the Unite the Kingdom rally, London's largest far-right rally in decades and decades. In a manner which is actually quite rare for the British far-right, Christianity was inescapable.
With every culture, or more or less every culture, a religion is attached to it. With our British culture, it's Christianity.
People talk about our culture being Christian. They've forgotten that we are constitutionally Christian.
They have attacked the family, they've attacked Christianity, they've opened the borders.
A week later came Charlie Kirk's memorial service in Glendale, Arizona. With a lineup dominated by members of the Trump administration, this was perhaps the clearest template yet of how this Christian nationalist fervor might integrate with state power.
So I guess I would just say this gathering and God's presence, God's very obvious presence in this room, the presence of Jesus, is a reminder of what we've known for 2,000 years, which is any attempt to extinguish the light causes it to burn brighter. Every single time.
This is like an old-time revival, isn't it? An old-time revival.
At both events, Christianity, or at least Christianism, was invoked as a source of internal political energy. Not something to be opposed to, but to stand for. It also worked to graft a history onto a populist right which kind of lacks one.
Why did I become a Catholic? I mean, there are all these things that I could point to, but one, I really liked that the Catholic Church was just really old.
As the age of non-committal irony passes and people search for sincerity, all this helps to transform MAGA, the Reform Party, and the various insurgent right-wing parties of Europe from relatively young, unknown entities into the inheritors of a 2,000-year Christian legacy. Passing the baton from Trump to Vance or Farage to whomever should follow him can thereby be framed as less significant than it once did. This appeal to Christianity is an attempt to build something bigger and long-lasting. But whether that's likely to work or not seems less certain.